I want to divorce my husband after I cheated on him.
That's fair, right?
My husband, 34 male, let's call him John, and I, 43 female, have been married for 4 years and together for 5. To explain the whole story, I'll start at the beginning. By the way, this comes from Belgian Waffles 777, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, before our wedding, I asked John if he had any debts, and he said no. I also asked if he had a driver's license, and he said yes. However, 3 months before our wedding in July, I learned from his landlord that he hadn't been paying rent and had a court order to pay up. Since he wasn't honoring the payments, we arranged to cover what he owed to keep him out of trouble. This upset me, and I started having doubts and feeling bad vibes.
Uh-oh.
I should mention that I am a Christian, although much of my family is Muslim. When I met John, he assumed that being half Moroccan, I would automatically be Muslim. However, I made many changes in my life to become a better person and embrace my Christian faith. John, who was raised Catholic, had converted to Islam. You guys swapped.
Wow, they really did.
I never pressured him to change religions, but after many discussions comparing the Bible and the Quran, he expressed a desire to return to Christianity and started Bible study.
Okay, 3 things.
Yes.
He has no debts.
Yeah.
He has a driver's license, or like, I guess legal
So he
documents.
says.
And he's gonna convert back Christianity. What I can already see here is 1, he's a liar, and 2, equal yoke as a Christian. That's kind of like one of the things, like, before you get into it, it's important. Like, not like on the same page about certain things, but like you kind of have the same mindset towards things. You guys work like hard at the same things.
Yeah.
See if this happens.
Yeah.
Because I already see a lot of setting self up for failure here.
Yep. After learning about his debt and dishonesty, I was ready to call off the wedding. I suggested we spend some time apart to work on ourselves and our faith. I have a dark past and my faith has freed me from it. John knew how important this was to me. He begged me not to leave, saying he wanted the same things in life and felt he had finally found purpose and truth. He promised to quit smoking and make positive changes.
Oh no, these are, you gotta pray about it. Both of you gotta pray about it.
Eventually, I gave in. Today, I knew this was a mistake, but I've always put others' needs before my own. That's my biggest flaw. We got married in October, and for a while, things seemed okay. Then in January, his salary was garnished for debts he had forgotten about. He always had explanations, blaming the system or saying he was a victim of circumstances.
OP is a victim of circumstances.
Before the wedding, I had purchased a BMW for myself. We often argued over the car because I've always been independent, going where I need to as a single mother of 3. John, who previously relied on public transport, started insisting that he couldn't waste time on a 2-hour commute from work, pressuring me to let him use my car. In April, my daughters wanted to start driving lessons, and I learned I was pregnant. I asked John to be their driving instructor. In Belgium, an experienced driver can teach students to drive after passing a small test. John signed up, but when my daughters went to City Hall with their father to complete the paperwork, they discovered John had no registered license. My ex-husband called me to break the news.
Oh.
When I confronted John, he admitted, "I didn't know how to tell you." I was angry and humiliated, especially hearing it from my ex-husband. I could have been in serious trouble for lending John my car when he didn't even have a license.
Dude.
That was the first thing that you knew about him.
No, she didn't know. He just said I had
yeah,
one.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the first
Oh.
thing that you said. Like, he told you about himself, or maybe not the first thing, but like,
Dude.
you asked him that. You said, "Do you have a license?" He was like, "Yup."
Doesn't it suck to downgrade from being single to being with this man?
Yeah.
What?
Still, he hadn't considered the risk. He only thought about himself. Meanwhile, I was studying to be a dental assistant, caring for the family, managing my pregnancy, and paying off his debts. Then I found out he'd spent $300 gambling online. I was furious because I'd made so many financial sacrifices. He promised he'd never do it again, and I forgave him, reminding him of his promise to quit smoking before our baby was born. Despite repeatedly swearing he wasn't smoking, I kept catching him in the act. As time went by, John insisted on buying a house, saying we needed more space and that it would be something to leave for our daughter. I was living in a social housing arrangement that offered stability, especially if John lost his job, our rent would decrease. But he pressured me, and 5 months after our daughter was born, we bought a house.
Oh, boy.
Get out! Get out!
Question. We bought a house? Or you bought a house?
Yeah, he's got all that debt. Not long after, I started suspecting he was hiding something. I asked if he was seeing another woman, but he denied it, calling me paranoid. My instincts told me to check his phone, and in August, I found that he wasn't seeing another woman. He was gambling. Our mortgage payments on casino games. Girl, let's leave. Let's leave.
My brother, don't you understand? Those are rigged.
Yeah.
Rigged.
To try to cover it up, he took out 3 secret loans totaling about $9,000 using my information without my knowledge and $2,000 in debts. He has put our family at risk. John has an easy way of washing off his guilt, and the only thing that brings him joy is booze. Many times he has crossed the line due to heavy consumption, like pulling on the emergency brake while I am driving with our baby in the back because he was angry that I wouldn't let him drive. He doesn't have a license.
Girl, you got to put yourself first in front of him.
Leave this man.
Well, she was driving and he just...
Yeah, I'm sorry. With your baby? Bye. All the doors upstairs are broken in because of his outbursts. He never considered my needs. If I wanted to cut my hair, he'll tell me things like, we don't have the money for that. Your hair's fine. Even if it's been years since my last cut. But he cuts his hair every month. And when I tell him that, he has the audacity to say, well, it's not the same budget. So $100 a year is too much? I now have to forget about myself when he knows that I used to be pampered head to toe, hair, nails, and clothes. I've always taken good care of my appearance, but now because of the financial mess he made, I have to forget about myself. My other 3 children's needs? You had 3 kids with this man?
She had 3 kids before.
Oh.
She had 2 kids before, and I think 1 with him.
2 kids and then 1 with him. You need to leave. But as long as he and our daughter are taken care of, that's all that matters.
Or I think she had 3 before and then 1 with him, so she has 4 in total. But he doesn't care about the other 3.
Girl, leave him. He's like he offers nothing.
Yeah, he does. He offers stress.
No, that's true.
And he's a money hole.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you got too much money, you got to get one of these around
You
you.
got it. Yeah, you can't have all this money. Almost a year after the gambling episode and the many fights over his drinking habits and the lying about his cig consumption, he swears to God he hasn't smoked, calls me crazy, says I persecute him. He finally admits it when I find a pack of cigs in our new car.
Dude.
The car was also a big source of arguments. I didn't want us to buy a car over $15,000, but he argued every day about how he knows how to fix BMWs and that they're quality cars.
No. Sorry for everyone that has a BMW. I have never heard any other car that gets brought into a shop more than a BMW.
I just think this man is stupid.
Well, he is. He said that about BMWs.
Yeah.
Not saying like BMWs are bad cars, but they do need to require a lot of maintenance with oil and things like that.
Sure.
If you want something, you just need a Camry. Get a Camry.
Well, I know they're good cars. I mostly drove BMWs before marrying him, but I tried to keep us on budget after all the financial difficulties, where he absolutely calculates nothing. So my mistake, I finally gave in. We bought a $28,000 car on credit. The credit is in our names, but I contracted it in my bank because the interest was lower, so you paid for it.
I am shocked how this woman got with this man.
I don't understand.
Why you were still with him.
And that's when he started to change. What do you mean he started to change?
Okay.
Before me, John had debts, was about to be evicted from his place, had no car nor license, no friends or family close to him except his father, who always pulled him out of trouble, but even he is fed up now with all of his son's crap. But now John was starting to feel like a man. Here we are at the end of May, and I started seeing him come home and go to work in a good mood. Way too good of a mood. You have to know that John is never in a good mood unless he has a glass of booze in his hand. Yikes.
Girl.
Again, my lanterns lit up. I knew another woman was behind this, making him smile. I definitely wasn't the one making him so cheerful. Our daughter never made him this happy. I felt so angry because he would never hug me or show me love and affection. We have spicy sleep twice a month max, and I never pushed him away despite all the deceptions and lies. The problem in our spicy sleep life, again, is him. But even if he neglected me, I never would have let some other man get closer to me. So anyways, I know something is up again. And he casually talks about this new colleague one day. How she's been moved to a new position. Now he feels sorry for her because she was being pestered. We'll call her Nas, 33 female.
Oh boy, don't worry about her.
Now I know my husband, he doesn't give a dang about anyone. And he was all, poor girl, about her. I knew she was the reason for him smiling so much. Anyway, to make a long story short, he denied doing anything wrong with her, but they were deleted calls and messages, and he lied about hanging out with her after work. When I confronted him on that, he called her to have her say that nothing was going on between them. Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah,
you called her okay.
Yeah.
But she did admit to having chatted with him after work that day, when he, on the other hand, had made up a story about why he came home so late. I got angry, and he had the audacity to leave and call her. To me, that was drawing the line. I felt like he was choosing her over me. He literally has never once chosen you. Not once did he suggest blocking her or cutting ties with her. Instead, he nags me and says, she and I talk at work, and we both agree to say that you're crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I was fed up. So I told him that even if I don't have enough proof to divorce on the basis of adultery, I want a marriage contract or I'm gone. His response was to go out, cut his phone off, and come back at 9:30 a.m. wasted with the BMW insured and bought in my name. So I left. I was determined to divorce because before I left, I placed spyware on his phone and could see that he was still texting and talking to Nas. This relationship is so unhealthy.
It's unhealthy.
Like, he's financially and also, like, he's punching walls, so it's just not...
He's not a good person to be around.
Not a good person.
And he's pushed you to your limits where you're also not a good person to be around him.
Yeah, like you're putting spyware on his phone.
You
like,
guys
if you
have
have
made
to do that with a partner, that partnership is done.
Yeah. Unless partner is your target. And it's been your target all along to find out secret information to save your country.
Yeah, and then you realize that you're both in love with each other.
A Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the original movie, kind of plot twist.
Exactly. He was only worried about getting back to the BMW I confiscated and that chick. I left for 3 months and stayed with my best friend who had a 1-bedroom apartment and her mom was staying with her. So it was complicated for my other 2 children to stay with us. They stayed with their dad and we could see each other as much as we could. I finally gave the BMW back and that idiot sold it for supposedly $18,000 after 6 months of purchasing it and never paid off the credit with the money. Instead, he bought a 2011 Audi A5 for $15,000. How stupid is that? So now we're paying a $28,000 credit for a 15-year-old car worth $15,000. $329 a month for a car that can't even have Omnium insurance on it because it's too old. If he crashes it, they won't give him a new one, but the credit will still have to be paid. I have never seen such stupidity. For my part,
yes,
my
you
mistake,
have.
yeah.
It's every day that you've been with this man. It's yourself.
He's never once been smart.
And now, you're not the smart one because you keep being with him.
Well, the thing is, like, she left him.
They're separated.
They're separated, yeah. They're not legally divorced, but they're separated. He's with that girl, Nas, and she's separated.
Yeah.
Legally divorced this man. But maybe it's like religious things. She doesn't want to divorce him.
That's also another thing. I'm kind of like, why did you not pray about this before getting into it if you were reluctant about a few things? Because also, like, not even religion, but money is talked a lot in the Bible. It's like mentioned like 127 times. It's
a really specific amount.
Yeah. They're like, you should do this with your money. And if you're with someone that isn't wise with their money, that's, I don't know. It, like, girl.
He's also a lot younger than her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it feels like this man is just like over has proved that he's very immature and also kind of abusive.
Yeah.
Not more than kinda.
Get out of there.
For my part, my mistake is that I communicated with an ex-boyfriend. We will call him Suf, 31 male. I ended things abruptly in 2018 and cut contact with him when I met and started dating John in 2020. During my marriage, I never once spoke to him, even when I was hurt or disappointed in John. But I knew in my heart that Suf would always love me and would forever be my biggest love. I would often miss him very much. Then go get in with him. Leave this stupid John. I missed being loved and held the way he would hold me. I missed being understood and cherished. I missed laughing with every inch of my body with just one look. Our relationship was unique, and we were one. I was just sad that John never wanted us to work as one. He always worked against me and had little faith in me and my abilities. Most people around me trust my judgment and ask me for advice because I am a very analytical person when it comes to others. But you're just not good at analyzing your own relationship?
Hey, coaches don't play.
Apparently. She does, yeah, she's in a relationship, but she just doesn't play well. But John just likes to shut me up as if I were the stupid one. Anyways, Suf still had contact with one of my brothers, and he found out about our split. So he wanted to reach out to see how I was doing. I have to admit that Suf really said things that helped me with my self-esteem, because at that point I was just a mess. We knew that a relationship would be complicated because our faiths are different. He is Muslim and I am Christian. Our morals are different. He is into dirty money. What does that mean?
He's gambling. Suf or John?
Suf.
Oh, I don't know.
How is he into dirty money? John's literally gambling all of your money away.
Drugs
John's into
or-
being broke.
Or maybe like laundry money where like it's just dirty. It's like, it's not anything that's dirty. It's just like, it needs to be cleaned.
Yeah, it's just physically dirty. We have a 12-year age gap and he wants children. You have a 12, how old are you?
Maybe Suf is like,
I thought he was 31 though.
I can look real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it says Suf, 31 male.
Hope is 43.
Oh, he's 12 years younger.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm pretty sure John is also pretty young too. I think he's like 34.
Yep.
So just to remind everyone, John is 34, OP is 43, and Suf is 31. I feel like...
He's a newly 30, not just has been 30.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, the 12-year age gap. Like, she's already in a relationship that has like a 9-year age gap. What's the difference, you know?
3 years does a lot.
Guess so. I mean, John's pretty immature though, which I can't see myself going through again.
She's 43.
So we agreed to remain friends, especially since I was going through a divorce process and my life was complicated enough. We were just not going to go there. But I welcomed his friendship because it helped me a lot psychologically, and he also helped me out a bit financially with my lawyer and by putting gas in my car, things like that. In August, things got carried away between us, and we did end up sleeping together on a few occasions. But my Christian conscience was tormenting me, and I told him that we had to stop. Even though I wanted a divorce, I had to tell John and my congregation to soothe my conscience. You had to tell the entire congregation?
Some people are just so convicted they gotta get it out.
I would understand if you had to tell, like, you know, you went the priest. The
Well-
entire congregation?
Well, let's say you're in a leadership role in your church and you do something like this. You gotta kind of fess up because you can't seem hypocritical. Because in a way, in the Christian mindset, this is adultery,
Yeah.
and she's gotta kind of fess up. Like I've seen people in the church where they've had to step down because of their personal choices.
Yeah.
And they've been like, hey, we're stepping down
Yeah,
because
so
of
maybe
this.
that's this.
Because they're kind of like a family,
Yeah.
but like with rules and yeah. So that's how I see it.
Suf knows that God has become very important to me, and he totally understands. We decided to cut ties. A couple of days later, I argued with my best friend, and I was really missing my family life. I left her place and slept in my car, and when John found out, he told me to come back even though we were divorcing. I agreed for the sake of everything. My best friend was going through depression, and I was tired of walking on eggshells in my condition. I came back the last weekend of August and stood firm in my decision to divorce. But I did tell him about Suf and what happened, and I also told my congregation to come clean about my sins. He was angry even though we were divorcing, and he felt hurt. How dare I step out of our marriage without the divorce being final? Dude, you were doing that. And also, you were doing that while you guys were actually still together. You were separated when she got with Suf. You were in the
Yeah.
process of divorce.
It's
Like,
just the state didn't see you guys as
Yeah.
divorced.
I told him I only felt guilty in front of God. Towards him, I felt nothing. He pretended to have never cheated and that I was a woman of low standards. And he wasn't like me. He said he had nothing with Nas, but I still had access to his messages, and he was telling Nas that not a day went by that he didn't think of her. But to me, he was sending messages like, I forgive you, I still love you. How pathetic.
I saw something recently where when a woman cheats on a man, the man asks, did you have sex with him? while when a woman finds out that their husband cheated on them, she asks, do you still love her?
Interesting.
Yeah. He's like, this is my thing. This is my thing. Why did you do this to my thing?
Yeah.
And she's like, did you have an intimate? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to see here because this got brought up.
Plus, he started doing live TikTok battles.
Oh my gosh, dude. What? How do these content creators just somehow show up in these stories?
I don't understand.
It happened in the last episode. What?
And well, friends and family were telling me about seeing John on TikTok, and it really embarrassed me. He was changing, his language was vulgar, and he was becoming dumb. He was already dumb. I am not judging people on TikTok, but at least put in some content, not just sitting there with people with no goals yelling tap, tap, tap all night long. I was grossed out. So anyway, September went by and we went to see my lawyer together to set our divorce agreements outside a courtroom. John started realizing what life would be like for him after the divorce. He would see me leave the house, go to the gym, and become filled with jealousy. But to me, that wasn't love. So he finally begs me to give him one last chance. Girl, if you do this, I'm going to be mad at you.
Don't give him another chance.
I'm going to be mad at you if you give him another chance.
Please.
He said he would do anything to get me back. Everything is his fault. He wants a Bible study. He wants us to get help for our marriage, and he promises to quit smoking.
Like how you got married. He's just telling you things you want to hear.
At the beginning of October, I finally agree and decide to see what he'll do.
I can't.
OP!
I can't. You lost here. This is on you, man.
You suck.
You were as dumb as he is. Who's dumber?
Come on.
She's dumber.
I mean, they're dumb in different ways. Like she just can't see. I don't know. She can't get out of this attached mindset to him. She feels stuck or something.
I think the big question here, technically he is dumber.
Yeah.
But if you keep seeing yourself being hurt in these situations, you keep putting yourself in these situations and not removing you or your family.
Yeah.
Who actually is dumber?
I just think that like you can't like. Obviously, there's a manner, there's matters of like abuse kind of going on here where he's pulling her back in, love bombing, etc., etc. But don't settle for this behavior.
Yeah.
Leave. Go find Soof.
Yeah, be with Soof, man. Like, even if you guys disagree on some things, your life will be 100 times more easier than this.
He knows I'm not fond of TikTok, but I didn't tell him straight out to stop. 1 month goes by, no Bible study. Not once did we look into marriage counseling. He's obsessed with TikTok, spending his spare time in his car doing live battles. He even spends money on TikTok, but the electricity bill wasn't paid for 4 months. His insurance wasn't paid for 3, but I'm supposed to not judge him. He, who is trying to make money on TikTok. I don't like how he talks to me. He says that he likes TikTok, that the time for dictatorship is over, that he's not scared of me, and that I can't ask for a divorce just because he doesn't care about religion. Yes, you can ask for a divorce for anything. And also, I'm asking you to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Dude.
So, if we're playing divorce in like, the Christian confounds, one of the things that divorce is like got the green light for is unfaithfulness.
Yep.
I would argue in some scenarios that unfaithfulness also means with money as well.
Yeah.
And
he's stolen your money.
Yeah.
He's literally already cheated on you.
So within the within the Christian confounds, he was unfaithful. That's cause for divorce. For some interpretations of it, he was also unfaithful with you with the money situation. So you can divorce, okay, if that's what's holding you back.
And also, he's only with you for your money.
Oh yeah.
Because he knows that you're gonna pay off his debts.
Yep. You're like his dad. You just keep bailing him out of things. You keep giving into this behavior.
Yup. But there's a little bit more to the story. We had an agreement that he would help me put aside $10,000, and I'm sure he
so we can buy another
honored
car.
That agreement. Yeah.
So we can gamble.
Whether we divorced or not, just as security because I have zero trust in him and his word. In case of divorce, I would leave with the $10,000 and let him have the house. But he's been saying things like, why should I give you money if we're not divorcing? He keeps zero promises. So now I want to take him to court and try to get the house. I have 3 kids to raise. I gave up everything for him and gave into everything, and he has just been a deceitful husband. But am I the a-hole for asking for the divorce, trying to take the house, even if I technically am the cheater? You're literally not. I have no proof of him having an affair. Yes, you do. You have so many of these chats, and never will. He will lie to till his last lying, stinking breath.
Okay.
Folks, that's the end of that story.
I have some math that I did here.
Yeah.
So one, earlier in the story, we saw that he had $11,000 in debt that he accumulated for gambling.
Yeah.
2, a house payment. Let's just say he got a house for like $150,000 and split it. That's 75 grand. And then on top of the 10 grand he wasted with the car, he has $96,000, $100,000 minimum in debt here.
Yeah.
I understand that you seem to put on a lot of yourself because earlier you said that you put other people before yourself.
Yeah, clearly.
It seems that you're putting this guilt that you cheated on him as the biggest thing because you want to keep your conscience clear, but we're also missing that he cheated on you in an emotional and probably physical sense.
While you guys were actually still together, and then you were separated. And then you got with someone else while you were separated.
So let's line these facts up here. Get rid of the self-guilt that you have about yourself. See it how it is. Take a step back. Yes, you can forgive yourself if that's what you need to do.
Divorce him.
Get out of here.
Divorce.
You're as stupid as he is if you're going to stay in this. I'm going to keep saying it.
You need to leave.
Goodness gracious.
But folks, that's the end of that story.
Got another one.
Yep.
My mother has a secret relationship with my boyfriend's father?
Ew.
In January of 2024, I, 21 female, came home to my parents' house after work. When I walked in, my mom, 54 female, was sitting in the kitchen, excited, and called me over to talk with her. She told me that she's made friends with the guy who worked on her car. We'll call him Bob. And that they got to talking about their kids. By the way, this comes from Tricky Frame 46 on the Dusty Thunder subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/showcase storytime subreddit.
Immediately clocking parents. This woman is married.
Mom can still have a crush, right? Bob told my mom about his son, who is kind, sweet, and overall just a great guy. Sounds like a little matchmaking here.
How great a guy, Mom.
She showed her pictures, and she said he was super cute and tall, and that I would like him. They showed him a photo of me, and he called me cute too. So obviously, I wanted to see what he looked like, but she didn't have the photo. I literally got into a 30-minute conversation with my roommate the other day because he said he went to a party and saw a lot of attractive women, and he said he got an Instagram of one of them. I was like, oh, just like, can I see? Proceeded to take 15 minutes to pull up her profile. How infuriating that is.
He couldn't find it, or he was just like,
no, he had
it.
it.
Yeah.
He just wanted to show it.
Unbelievable.
And he was talking about how he's like trying to talk to girls, and he's like, oh, I got one's Instagram. And I was like, oh, can I see? So I kind of understand what kind of like game you got going on here.
None.
So all she knew was where he worked and that he was a sweet kid who had his life together. Finally, a guy who has his own house, car, and job. Honestly, it was refreshing, LOL. After hearing all of that, I started getting really excited too and wanted to meet him. So I said, screw it. And after drinking 2 cups of coffee that day, I had some major caffeinated confidence that I never had before and decided to go meet him. That is the thing. I get way more confidence? Yeah, after I drink one of these bad boys, I
energy.
Definitely feel
ready
more confident to read.
Seize the day.
I need to start drinking 2 a day.
Carpe diem. No.
Imagine what I could do if I had 2.
Heart attack. You could go to the hospital.
That's okay. There's heart issues in my family already. Long story short, I showed up at his job, introduced myself, and asked him if he would like to take me on a date.
I'm sorry, you showed up at his job and said, "You want to take me out on a date?"
Dude, if I knew there was like a freaking red-headed, artsy-fartsy chick at the nearest Starbucks that was single and had really cool nails.
And her name was Angie.
And it so happened to be Angelina. I'm leaving right now. Hey guys, I'm gonna go get anybody want some coffee?
Anyway, I'm gonna be there for hours.
But anyway, I would do this too, OP. Don't worry. I would do that too. He said yes, and we started planning. For the remainder of the post, we'll be calling him Adam, 27 male. Adam and I got along really well and started dating. Still dating as of today, 2025.
Wow, look at you.
The day after our first date, he gave me a key to his place, and I moved in by week 2.
I'm sorry, what? What?
Mind you, OP's 21 female at this point.
What?
I bet you OP just wants some babies. Ooh.
He gave you a key after the first date? Who are you?
Pedro Pascal, because he did that in the movie Materialist.
Huh?
After he took her home for the first time, he's like, here's a key. Come whenever.
That's insane. You guys are going to get robbed.
I mean, I gave Angie the code to my house after I got...
I do give everyone the code to our house.
You do that too. We don't have keys.
Yeah, well, you got me there.
I know. It was very fast, but we had a connection like no other.
No.
I'm about to prove you wrong. If Pedro Pascal came in here right now, if you weren't seeing anyone, and said, hey, here's the key to my house, come over whenever, you're telling me you would not? And you had a connection like the person you have with now?
I would say, Pedro, we don't know each other.
But you
For
do.
your own safety.
You guys already went on a date and it was
We
amazing.
went on one date and it was amazing. I'd say, Pedro, we don't know each other well.
Shut up.
You're
I do
going
not
too
believe
fast.
you whatsoever.
If we went on one date and Pedro Pascal was like, I want to be your boyfriend, I'd be like, Pedro, we went on one date. Slow down.
I don't believe you at all.
That I'm not you. You do this.
Okay.
Okay.
If it was Pedro and I was you, yeah, duh. It's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, and I'd like to take it slow so that we have a relationship that has a lot of longevity and stability. I just think he's love bombing me.
I do not.
Pedro, you're love bombing me.
No, you're gonna have the longevity and you're gonna have a lot of longevity. But like it's gonna be great. It's you just get in there and you get started.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh
I'll
my
let you guys
gosh.
know.
Anyways, had a connection like no other. Neither of us had ever felt this way before, and it was genuinely like love at first sight. I always thought they exaggerated in movies, but I felt so real experiencing it myself. We've had our ups and downs, but he truly still feels like the one. Fast forward to April 2024. Adam and I were on a date at a cute little ramen joint,
Ooh.
and there were two couples sitting next to us,
Uh-oh.
getting really wasted. And of course, Adam and I started slowly listening to the conversation as one does.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, after hearing a few key words, I whispered to Adam, how much you want to bet they're non-monogamous? He chuckled and leaned in again and asked, can I tell you something? He looked intrigued and I said yes. I told him that I've never told anyone this before and that he can't tell anyone, but I wanted to talk about it. I told him that I found out last year that my parents are non-monogamous / in an open relationship.
I see you. No.
Oh, she found out last year. Also, I'm sorry, but if you're dating someone, you're living with them, how does that not come up earlier?
That's true. Hold on. I'm sorry. If I found out that my parents were in a non-monogamous relationship,
And you don't tell Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal would be
After a
the
year
first
later?
to know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
First to know.
Then I was about to go tell him how I found out and vent a little, but then I look up at his face and stop. He put his hand on his forehead and sighed, and what I couldn't tell was pain or relief. I quickly said, oh, don't worry. I made sure to ask my mom if she met your dad in that community, and she assured me that they didn't, so you don't have to worry about that. He looked at me with the saddest, most worried facial expression and told me he had something to tell me.
Y'all are keeping secrets. Y'all are giving keys out like candy, but secrets are too much.
And this is where I and Angie are in another joint, slowly eavesdropping into their conversation.
Yeah, they're listening to that one couple. Honestly, it's probably they're listening to the one couple and then start like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And the couple that they were listening to kind of stops and they're like, what are they talking about?
Right. And I got my ramen like,
yeah. Yeah, and we're going,
what the fuck? He said he met my mom last year, a month before he met me, because she was coming over to sleep with his dad. They had been in a spicy related relationship since then and still are. They told him before we went out on our first date to lie to me and tell them that they met each other when Bob fixed my mom's car, and they continued to tell him this 3 months when we were dating at the time, and that if he told me the truth, that I would break up with him immediately.
They blackmailed him?
Mother.
See, this is why we don't move in after a week.
I feel like this isn't about Adam. Also, if you know your mom is having conversations with other men.
Not only other
and she's
men,
in
your
this-
dad. I mean, sorry, your boyfriend's dad.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if you know your mom's having conversations with other men and she's also part of this community,
Yeah.
always assume that it's a part of that community.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So, like, she didn't talk to the mechanic. She didn't talk to the mechanic Bob. She talked to the plumber, Bob. Wink, wink.
Oh, like always assume that whoever she's bringing up is probably going to be a part of that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, I know this great guy. He's got a lovely son. And Opie's like, how did you know them?
To add to that, unless your mother is a 100% extroverted person that always talks to random people, people do not talk to mechanics. People do not talk to the person that they're... I do. I like to have a little conversation, but it doesn't lead to... Oh my gosh, like, you know.
Yeah, your son is going to go on a date with my daughter.
Yeah.
Suspicious. And also, he kept this in for so long. Wow.
Oh, now on to Adam.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate this episode.
Yeah. Yikes.
Okay.
These stories are like insane for two entirely different reasons. They're both movies, though.
For context, I told my mom when I found out about her and my dad's relationship that I didn't want it to bleed into my personal life.
Oh, baby, did it bleed?
Basically, I didn't care what they did in their relationship as long as it didn't affect me. So throughout our short relationship at the time, he was constantly conflicted.
I remember you was conflicted.
He said that he hated keeping it from me and that he only did it because that he was scared that I would leave him. But now that it was brought up, he had to tell me no matter what. He said one of the main reasons he didn't before this was because of the way I talked about my parents. I always praised them and their relationship. They're good parents, and I love them. So he's under the assumption that if I didn't know that they were open, he was afraid of crushing my image of them and not only me leaving him, but ruining my relationship with them. I was pissed, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, your entire image of your parents is broken, not because they're in this open relationship, because OP clearly doesn't really care about that, but because they lied to you. Yeah. You set up one boundary and they pushed past that.
So just don't let it bleed into my relationship.
And they said, okay.
Girl, you're messy. Ooh.
And you can't tell anyone that. Gross.
She promised me they didn't sleep together, that they were just friends.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but Adam told me she would come over while I was working the night shift and sneak out before I came home. They had loud, kinky, spicy sleep in Adam's house. Bob was staying with him while Adam was there.
That is, I think, maybe the most messed up thing. That's the most messed up thing. Come on.
They did this at least once a week and pretty much rubbed it in his face. Why didn't he tell them to stop, may you ask? He said he just wanted to stay out of it. And most of the time, they were mid-doing it when he got home. Not much he could do there. On top of that, he was scared to have spicy sleep with me at first because he was afraid I would sound like my mom. Gross. Thanks.
This is a nightmare. I'd literally have nightmares forever if I was OP. Not gonna lie, you either have to cut your mom off forever or break up with your boyfriend. This is a nightmare. This is truly horrific.
I don't sound like my mom.
This is horrific. If I were him, I would start like blasting music every time that happened. Like blasting just like the most outrageous music.
Yeah, so this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put on headphones, listen to the music you want, and then outside of that, play the non-spicy playlist on Spotify, and then just let that blast.
Dude, every time, well, no, you know what I'm doing? Every time they start going at it, I'm like, just volume. I'm getting the biggest speaker that you can, and blasting Careless Whisper, just that.
Set up right out front of their door.
Yeah, every time. I'm gonna, and then you like when it gets quiet, because you're probably like, man, I don't know, they go to sleep or something, blasting every time.
I just want to say, I don't think I've ever heard spicy noises coming from a room, and I want to thank everyone. Actually, one person, but that was for a minute. I was just like, what is that noise? But after that, I've never heard constant spicy noise coming from anyone's room, and I want to thank everyone that I know. Because I don't even know what I'd do with that. Sometimes I don't even, it's just weird. It's so, oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyways, thankfully.
I have in my old apartment. Yeah.
That's why you had headphones or
yeah.
earbuds.
It's kind of funny because we were all in the living room. We're like, okay.
Thankfully, He says I don't sound like my mom. We left the restaurant so I could calm down and register everything he had just told me. He tried to take my phone away from me so I wouldn't say anything I would regret to my mom, but he was unsuccessful. I called my mom on the hour-long drive home and cursed her out for lying to me, making my boyfriend lie to me, threatening by saying I would break up with him, and for sneaking around / shoving their spicy sleep life in his face. She was not apologetic at all and pretty much said that she was there first. She's an adult and she can do whatever she wants. Probably maybe getting off on this too.
I hate your mom. I literally would be like, okay, well, I'm an adult too, so you're not going to hear from me.
It was that forbidden love kind of vibe.
It's just crazy to me that she's like, yeah, I'm an adult. I can do whatever. I was there first. It's like, okay, then why did you recommend this guy that you were seeing son to me? Why did you blackmail him into keeping this secret if you were so proud of it?
Yeah. After we calmed down, she just said, and I quote, if I had been honest, it might have shut the door of opportunity for you and Adam to have what you have now. I felt horrible about putting Adam in that position, and I knew that if you guys really got close, it would come out because I wouldn't have been able to hold it in either.
You liar. Liar! You liar. If she had just had a relationship with Adam's dad and had, been acting respectfully and stuff and maybe was worried that OP would find out or whatever, that would have been one thing. Forcing Adam to lie to her daughter, blackmailing him, like doing it basically, while he's home at like crazy volumes. I don't forgive you.
She continues, I've thought about it many times. And I couldn't tell you because, first, I know you don't want to know about this stuff. And second, it's complicated grown-up crap. And honestly, some of it's embarrassing. Complicated grown-up crap.
This is not complicated grown-up crap. It's really not.
It's just a relationship with just a few more people in it. Yeah, she definitely liked this vibe that she had with Adam's dad and just didn't want to give that up. And you were the part of it. You were part of getting your mom off, OP. How does that make you feel?
Ew.
It's true, though. It's true. You can't deny that.
Gross. I don't even want to think about it.
I can't deny it.
I don't want to think about that.
I forgave her after we talked in person. But I told her to stop having spicy sleep with him.
This is too easy. I don't forgive her.
That's
if I were Adam, I would never forgive this woman. I'd be like, I don't want to be around your mom ever again. She blackmailed me.
She promised me she would stop. We hugged it out and moved on. For a year, everything was fine until Adam and I were laying in bed, and he got a text from his dad. It was a long paragraph about how horrible my mother is, that she's a substance user, harmful, etc., and that he needed to break up with me so that Bob, doesn't have to deal with her anymore. We were all very confused, but he would not elaborate. Just say that they were at Bob's house and something went down. I went to see my mom the next day, and long story short, they were sleeping again and got into a fight over this. Of course, there was a screaming match between us, and I told her she broke my trust. I can't trust her anymore because she broke a promise and pushed a boundary too far.
She did that last time. She lied to you before. I'm not surprised at all.
I feel like she also had options with other guys, but she chose to be with Bob because of how promiscuous.
Yeah, well, just like how, it's something that like she's not allowed or like shouldn't be doing, and so she's like, oh, it's a little bit more risky, more fun to do something that I'm not supposed to be doing.
It's not too much to ask for your mom not to have spicy sleep with your boyfriend's dad, right? Well, apparently it was for her. Although I was really mad at the time, I was also glad that this happened. This meant that they wouldn't talk to each other anymore, and I wouldn't have to worry. Since then, my mom blocked Bob on everything, even though he has reached out and has asked about her more than once, LOL. You can ask about us anytime you want on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, and there will be plenty of stories just as crazy as this one. Sophia, any final thoughts before we finish up?
I'm literally going like low contact with my mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, again, to recount what she did. Count number 1. After you said, hey, I'm making this tiny little boundary, can you not pass it? She passes it. Involves you in her relationship stuff. involves your boyfriend. Count number 2 makes him invested or involved, makes him lie to you. And then count number 3, you say, hey, okay, we've talked it out. We've hashed it out. Can you not do this again? She does it again. And also, she's like got substance abuse problems. What's going on
And
there?
it's harmful.
And is harmful. I mean, geez Louise, she's done. Bye.
Bye.
Find someone else, Mom. Have better behavioral skills.
Yeah.
Now my mom and I get along, though we're still in the process of building that trust again.
What?
And Bob and I get along really well too. He told me today that he's glad his son is dating me and sees just how happy I made him.
Your life is weird.
And that every time he comes over, the house is filled with laughter and joy, and he considers me a part of the family.
Your life is weird.
So there's a happy ending to all this drama. Adam and I have gotten closer and plan to move states away soon and buy a home. He's supported me through all of this and much more, and has been the best partner I could have asked for.
Your life is weird.
Yeah, it's
This was all
complicated.
you forgave her so easily.
I mean, they're still working on it. They know
I
it's
guess,
not
yeah.
the best, but dude, I mean, hey OP, that's your life. I'm glad you still have a relationship with your mom.
And I guess Adam.
Yikes.
Good luck, OP.
How does the dad feel about all this?
I have no idea. We haven't heard anything about him.
He's probably just doing his own thing.
He's like, I don't know. I'm seeing.
He probably agreed to open marriage so he could just go play golf more.
He's like, I don't know. Your mom's getting up to something with the mechanic, and I'm doing putt every weekend.
But gotta go play another round of golf.
One time recently, I hit it into the windmill.
That
I was
fun.
pretty excited. But
Yikes.
that's the end of that story.
All right, we got one more story coming up, folks.
My sister has special needs, but our parents won't listen to me.
Listen.
So I'm currently in my second year of college. Child genius got fast-tracked through grades, and I have 2 younger sisters, Jess, 14 female, and Anna. Anna was born fully deaf and is starting elementary school this year. By the way, this comes from user oldest sibling throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I'm not trying to throw my parents into a negative light. They do love us, and they've provided us with every opportunity possible, and we have wanted for nothing growing up. Even though my parents were thrown when they found out Anna was deaf, they're musicians by trade, and both me and Jess have been involved with music from a young age, they learned ASL along with me and my sister and tried their hardest to adapt. That said, I've always been closest with Anna as she's grown up, and she's like my best friend. She's always come to me if she's afraid or sick. She looks for me to interpretation or context when we're out, and she's always been my little shadow. So out of everyone in our family, I feel I know her the best. My parents are sending Anna to a private special needs school in the coming year, and I personally disagree with their choice. I looked into the place and took a virtual tour, and from everything I've seen and read, it seems to be catered more to students with severe mental disabilities or mobility impairment. In fact, I couldn't see a great deal of detail about the services provided for deaf students at all. I brought all of this up to my parents, but they just brushed me off, saying it was what was best and they'd take care of her. I asked why she can't go to a mainstream school, but they said there were no services for her. Well, I did a bunch of research. I contacted district superintendents, local councils, and even schools directly themselves. I even found a deaf school only very slightly out of our boundary who said they were willing to be flexible. When I brought this to my parents, they got annoyed, saying that they knew what was best for their daughter, and I should stay out of it, and that no school would be able to handle her hearing impairment and behavioral problems. I was stunned. Anna doesn't have behavioral problems. She's a bit willful, sure. She has a mind of her own, and she's always had a mischievous streak, but she's never acted out of control. She can read and write above average for her age, I know, because I read with her. And while she's a little slow on the math front, I doubt it's any real cause for concern. I asked if she had been diagnosed, and they cited the time she's wandered off during trips to the theater or made noises during the performance. They haven't seen a doctor or any professional about this. They just saw a deaf child being forced to sit still for hours, not understanding everything that's going on around her and acting out of boredom and frustration, and decided she's got behavioral issues.
Yeah, she's got to sit there. Literally, apparently it doesn't sound like it, but there's apparently no translator. So she's sitting there being like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to wander around. I don't know what's going on.
Anna is a bright kid, and while the school they've picked out looks amazing for kids with disabilities, I just don't think it would suit her specifically. But despite all my arguments and despite me spending more time with Anna than either of them combined, they still tell me to shut up and not get involved with their decisions because they're the adults, which really annoys me because I've been forced to act like an adult my whole life. But as soon as I want a say on something actually important, they shut me down and potentially take away my sister's potential to thrive. And there is an edit. I just wanted to clarify a few recurring points that have arisen throughout both comments and PMs. One, I mentioned the skipping grades thing because I thought it would explain why I was a 17-year-old sophomore in college and why I felt like I was qualified to intervene with the decision-making process. I've been involved in adult conversations, been surrounded by adults who regard and treat me as a peer most of my life. I apologize if I was unclear. Someone mentioned that my parents would recognize behavioral issues in Anna because they have raised 2 children before her. I would disagree with this, as one, every child is different. Jess and I have very different temperaments and personalities, just like Anna. And 2, my parents have raised 2 hearing children who are regarded as intelligent and mature for their age. Seeing a deaf 6-year-old acting like a 6-year-old, I would argue, is relatively new for them.
That's crazy. That's crazy. To say that a 6-year-old has behavioral issues because she's made a couple, like, hearing children do that. Like, hearing children make noises in long, long auditorium meetings or whatever.
Yeah.
Hearing children will wander around. This isn't, like, exclusive to her just because she's deaf. She doesn't have behavioral problems. And also, it makes even more sense because she's deaf.
Third point here from OP. I've actually gotten involved with a local deaf advocacy group for deaf and hard of hearing adults and their friends and family.
I love how much OP is advocating for their sibling.
We're having a meeting via Zoom on Monday night, and I'm looking forward to getting their insight. Number 4, on a slightly more serious note, some of you have expressed concern about my mom and dad's parenting and that I'm being parentified, that they are ableist, and that I'm too young to have these concerns regardless of my intelligence or maturity. I have thought on this a lot, and on some level, I think you might be right. My parents don't like to be told they're wrong or made to feel like they don't know something. And I don't think they've adapted to Anna's hearing impairment as well as they believe, and on some level, they think it reflects badly on them. Admittedly, I can see some of their flaws reflected in me, and I'm trying to work on that. I do wonder if one of the reasons Anna is so attached to me is because I do give her affection and attention where our parents aren't as forthcoming. Regardless of whether I'm too young, there is a little girl that needs someone to rely on, and if that's me, then I'll take up that mantle. I love my sister, and I want to strive to make the world better for her.
Oh.
5, I'm going to try a more subtle approach to this rather than treating it like a debate with my parents. I'm working on those flaws. If anything comes out of it, I'll be sure to update you. Thank you for all your comments and advice. It's been great to hear from so many people, and there's an update. Should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. About 98% of you were super wonderful on my last post and seemed genuinely invested, so I thought I'd give you all an update. It's been just under a week now, and after trying some of the different tactics and talking points you suggested, in addition to reaching out to the deaf/hard of hearing community, my parents and I have come to a compromise,
Yay.
if only to shut me up.
Oh.
But I'm not the one that's important here. That would be Anna, 6 female. So come the new school year, Anna will be going to the school my parents chose, but we, including me, will be keeping in close contact with her teachers, specialists, and her progress, and talking to Anna herself about how she feels. If it seems like it isn't a great fit, we will be transferring her to the deaf school. It's a little out of the area, but I think we can make it work. I did open up to my parents a bit, as much as they could handle, and told them that I feel like I've been not robbed, but had a stunted childhood, and that my academic abilities forced me to grow up quickly. That, coupled with their emotional distance and lack of physical presence with Anna, made me angry and frustrated that my opinions on her future weren't being taken into account. I wish I could say that was what did it, but honestly, my points about the school not teaching Anna independence and other arguments brought up on the original post probably eased them over to my side a bit. I kept my temper even this time. And by the way, it's time, all the time, to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just type OK Storytime into that little search bar, and you can listen to almost, 3,000? What are we at, like 28? 2,800 plus
Dang.
stories to listen to.
Hoo-wee.
Wow. We've got a little bit more story left.
Heck yeah.
I'm sorry your parents can't accept that they raised a really smart kid. That's the
Yeah.
dumbest thing to me is like parents who are like, like someone goes off to like college and then you go back and it's like, you got a little up on the, you've learned some stuff, and then they're like, oh, look at Big Shot thinks they know stuff. It's like, yeah, you guys sent me here to learn things. What? I mentioned in my edit on the last post that I'd gotten in contact with a deaf advocacy group, and they've provided some wonderful resources. So hopefully sometime soon, Anna will finally be able to meet kids and adults like her. She's super excited by this. She's the least reserved and most outgoing sibling out of the three of us, so I've no doubt she'll make friends quickly. I've also made the decision to start seeing a therapist to maybe work on some of the issues that I've been reflecting on, and to get some emotional support where my mom and dad dropped the ball. I don't see them changing or even admitting they need to change anytime soon, but that doesn't mean I have to stay complacent. And that is the end of that story.
My ex-boyfriend got our coworker pregnant, so I congratulated them. I, a 28 Asian female, found out that my boyfriend, 31 Hispanic male of 3 years, cheated on me with one of our coworkers, and his sister had a part in it. What? Last week on Friday, I was at my work desk when my very nosy lead came up to me, whispering and asking if I was okay. I was confused. She then pulled up her phone and asked if I had broken up with my now ex-boyfriend because she screenshotted an Instagram post that was made over the weekend by one of my coworkers, the person he cheated on me with. By the way, this comes from Electronic Bar 8484 on the r/comfort level pod subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, I do not have social media, so I told my nosy lead to show it to me, and there was a picture of my coworker kissing my now ex-boyfriend for the world to see. On Saturday, I told them that we needed to talk, so I went over to his house. On my way there, the same nosy lead sent me a screenshot of a post that was made by my coworker saying that she was about 2 months pregnant. I called and asked him to explain himself while I was nearing his house, and he just stayed quiet. He refused to come out or see me when I arrived at the house, so we basically talked through the phone for the time that I was there. After I sent him the pictures of the screenshot, not telling him who sent it, he finally said things happened, and he got close to our coworker after his sister started inviting her to the house, then confessed that he started dating her 2 months ago, the day before his mom's 50th birthday, which he invited her to, but told his sister to tell me that she was the one that invited the coworker. He also told her to dress in gold, which is his favorite color, when the theme was hot pink, to which everyone was wearing but her. On the day of his mom's birthday, he spent the whole night drinking, talking, and dancing with his sister and our coworker because they claimed that they didn't want her to feel left out while I was with the rest of his family. His cousin invited me to dance since my ex was dancing with our coworker, when suddenly my ex pulled me to the side and was upset that I was dancing with his cousin. I told him that I should be the one that's upset with how he has been acting all night, but just didn't want to make a scene out of it out of respect to his mom. I ended up saying bye to his mom and said that I wasn't feeling too well, so I left. That was when the cheaters decided that they were going to go upstairs and make a baby on the night of his mom's 50th birthday while everyone was celebrating downstairs. Mind you, he told me all of this over the phone. After some time, his sister came down and said that he had asked me to go back home for the day. I yelled at her for helping her brother lie to me for the last 2 months. Her answer to me was that she didn't feel like I was good enough for her brother because I didn't speak Spanish. Yes, Spanish. And she liked my coworker because she was Hispanic and wanted her to date her brother, who is now my ex-boyfriend. So she set them up. After everything that I've done for them and her kids, helping her daughter get through speech therapy, watching her kids while she goes out to party, and helping their mom run errands. All of this wasn't good enough because I needed to speak Spanish too. His mom came out to ask what was going on. I told her I came to say goodbye and that her son was a dog and a POS and he can do the explaining to her, but that I was done. She cried, telling me not to go and that whatever he did to hurt me, he would get back, so for me to stay. I told her that he will get what he deserves, but I was done with her son. I remained professional, as best I can, all week when those shifts overlapped at work. Even congratulated them on their pregnancy in front of everyone. He called me, to which I picked up and asked. He wanted to know where he stands in our relationship so he can make a decision. I think you've already made a decision, dude, when you were boycotting on your mom's 50th birthday.
He says, I just need you to tell me where you're at.
Yeah.
Because if you're, like, down with us still being together, I'm down.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What, I'm just trying to get, like, a sense of where your head's at. Because my
just...
head...
My goodness. Uh-oh. making
He's
it.
thinking relationship.
And he asked if I cannot make a scene or make things awkward at work. I responded there is no place for him to stand when there is no relationship, and his decision was already made when he decided he wanted to sleep with another woman and impregnate her. I didn't make things awkward. What they did affected them, not me. This week, his sister ended up quitting after she got into an argument with another supervisor. Then Friday came back around today and I received some more good news. The company ended up firing him because of a DUI, which he now has 2 DUIs. Am I the a-hole? Side note, my ex, our coworker, were all supervisors at the same company. His sister reports to our coworker. They're all on first shift and I'm on second shift. And we do have an update. Wow. But do we have any final thoughts before we go into this update? A lot of crazy stuff happened.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
No, don't go back together with him.
No.
He cheated on you and had a baby with another woman. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
So you're definitely not the a-hole. I don't know what you would be the a-hole for. Like,
Nothing.
you didn't do anything.
Nothing. You didn't do anything.
You
I don't know what you would be the a-hole
You,
for.
you left the party and you congratulated them on the pregnancy. I think that's a very nice thing to do.
If they feel guilty,
yeah.
that's on them.
It's on them, man.
That's on them.
But there is an update. So, since my ex-boyfriend has been fired, my phone has been ringing nonstop with constant messages going off. I ended up blocking his number. At work, my coworker has reported me to HR for pesterment. My manager, who has been on personal time off for the past 2 weeks, talked to me about it throughout the past week and asked about what happened. I told my manager that I haven't done or said anything to my coworkers except for congratulations on her pregnancy and hello as a fellow coworker would. I told HR where the proof was that I was talking about her or making her uncomfortable and that they can go ask associates or other management members if I had said anything about her. Also, for them to go ask her to explain to them exactly why she felt I was pestering her on what grounds. Apparently, associates and management have been talking about her pregnancy and how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me and is the baby daddy. She is saying that I told everyone about it. Pathetic. She needs to realize that the only reason everyone knows is because she purposefully posted it on Instagram for the world to see about her and my ex-boyfriend's scandalous relationship and also announcing her pregnancy. Yeah, that's a good point too. Her coworker told OP that she was being cheated on. Like,
Yeah.
The
OP found out after people.
yeah, everyone else is telling OP the information.
So
It has been confirmed by HR after asking management and associates that I have not said anything to my coworker, but that day when everyone congratulated her on her pregnancy. Also, that I didn't say anything to anyone about my cheating ex-boyfriend and coworker, but that everyone found out through her post on Instagram. They said that they would talk to her and handle the situation, but for the time being, I was to keep a distance. Fine with me. I'm not sure how they will take care of the situation, but I'll wait and see what happens. Now, over the weekend, I went over to their house to get my stuff after confirming with his mom that he was not home. She agreed to help pack my stuff for me as well, so I can just go in and out. She had the garage open and was finishing up packing stuff, so I went to help her finish. As we were finishing, he pulled up on the driveway, so I grabbed the last of what I could and told his mom that I was leaving. I rushed to my car, but he stopped me and said that he wanted to talk. There was nothing to talk about. His mom told him to let me leave. She walks over to pull him to the side, but he brushes her off. He wouldn't let me leave until we talked. That's not scary.
No.
It's not scary at all.
No.
That's, yeah. No. No. See what you're doing, dude?
That's your fault. That's
Sophia's
your fault.
hurt because of you.
I tried to throw Tom hands and I
Yeah.
hurt myself.
Man. He kept saying to listen to him and he needed to talk to me. At this point, I was just over it. I responded, "What is there to talk about? The day I came over here and asked you to explain to me what happened, you couldn't even come outside and tell me. Not even for a second did I see your face. I give you a chance to come out and explain yourself, but you threw that chance away. You only spoke with me over the phone and not once did you even apologize for having cheated on me. You couldn't even come out to face me. So you sent your sister to tell me to leave, and that already explains what you are not. You are not a man. You can't even own up to your wrongdoing. Now that you want to talk, I don't have to listen since there's nothing between the two of us." Bam. But you know what you have to listen to is more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You have to. You have to listen. Okay?
You have to.
We didn't cheat on you, so you have to.
Don't cheat on us with
Okay.
other podcasts.
Please.
We're sensitive.
There is a little bit more to the story, but I think that was a banger response.
Yeah,
was
I
great.
think you nailed it. I really
Yeah.
think there's there's no question here.
Yeah.
You just need to get him out of your life, and if he keeps bothering you, I don't know, like
Yeah,
restraining order.
absolutely. I mean,
Get him
for
out.
real.
You,
He's,
you can report him and say, no, he's literally
Yeah.
harassing me.
he's showing up to my house when people are telling him to leave, including me. He's not leaving. He won't even let me leave. Like
Yeah.
that's
He's
insane.
like, wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's crazy.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Rolling our eyes over here. I pushed past him and placed the box in my trunk and went to get in the driver's seat. He was still insisting that I talk to him. He then said that he was sorry, he didn't know what he was thinking, it was all a mistake, and that he still loves me, and that he wouldn't be with her if she wasn't pregnant. His mom told him, cheating is not a mistake. You did it because you wanted to do it. Your love was not sincere, you wanted someone else. You did the act, so now you suffer the consequences. I told him, even if she wasn't pregnant, you still cheated. For that alone, I will still leave. She pulled him away and waved me off as I left. Since I have his number blocked, he was using his mom's phone to call me, but I hung up once I heard it was him. She then sent me a text message to block her number. Honestly, I feel horrible that his mom had to witness all of this. She was such a lovely person. She cared for me as if I was her daughter. I really do wish the best for her and her grandkids, but may my ex-boyfriend, his sister, and my coworker get all the karma that they deserve. And that is the end of that story.
I'm suspicious of my brother's girlfriend, so I started investigating her.
Is she part of the FBI?
My younger brother, Adam, had a rough childhood, to say the least. Our father passed away when he was under 10 from Our mother is likely bipolar, but definitely has self-absorbed tendencies. I'm older by a decade and did what I could when I could for him. But basically, I failed to protect him and didn't understand what he needed. All that to say that his descent into heavy drinking wasn't a surprise. It was expected. A couple of years ago, he had an incident that caused him to be hospitalized, and he began his recovery in sobriety. By the way, this comes from Recognition Dry 66, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Do it.
I'm Riley.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
He's over 2 years clean now. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Hugely due to the new relationship he started months after his incident with a kind-hearted, lovely woman. I'll call her Eve. He brought Eve over to meet us shortly after they met, and she's been a welcome part of our family. She makes gifts for my kids and treats. She's always fun to speak to, and her quirkiness fits in beautifully. Aww.
Yay.
As we've gotten to know her, we've learned about her traumatic her life has been. They're kind of trauma bonded, but she's so understanding and empathetic. She told us about her twin who passed away in high school,
Oof.
how her siblings and parents loved him more and treated her badly, as the survivor was always less than.
No, this is next to normal.
She also had another brother who passed away in war in Iraq,
Ooh.
who became the golden child after twin passed. She couldn't seem to gain her mother's approval or attention, and we bonded over those feelings of not being wanted or good enough. She told us she was originally from Scotland. Her father was a sheep farmer who moved to America to buy a cattle farm because of the cowboy movies, so she has dual citizenship.
Sick.
She also said because of this, she spoke 16 languages. She worked at a college and had multiple degrees too. Overall, she was incredibly nice and took care of Adam and seemed super well educated and proper. Sometimes she had her Scottish accent too because she's been around her family. Then she started to tell us about her past relationships. 3 divorces.
Dang. How old is this girl?
I don't even know.
I'll look at.
Okay.
Oh, Angela Connolly has
All
conspiracy
lies,
theory.
I bet.
All lies.
Yeah. Also, if someone has like this many divorces, where's the common denominator? Like, is it the people she's choosing, or is
Well,
it her kind of thing? You know
I
what I'm saying?
imagine that she does have a lot of trauma
And she goes after a certain type of person.
and maybe seeks a lot of, of-
daddy issues.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
looking for like people to tell her that, what's the word?
She's important. She's loved.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. One was from a person who had gender reassignment surgery. The other passed away. And the last is another awful dude. Felt like after 2 years of knowing her, she was a great fit. So last week, When they had a bad argument, I tried to reassure Adam. I'd come over to talk to him, and he told me that she had lied to him about not speaking to a friend of hers anymore. Some guy who was apparently a popular guy in high school. She lied because she didn't want to believe he wasn't a good guy because she's had so much bad luck with men. Adam was struggling to move past the lying, but wanted to work it out, and I supported him in whatever he does. I talked to my husband about it, and he asked the most basic question. How does she have a high school popular kid here in town if she was raised in Oklahoma on a cattle farm?
Was it Angela Connolly who said all lies? Was it Angela Connolly? Has she ever actually said? Do we have any proof that she actually knows 16 languages?
That's a
Is
good
she
point.
faking a Scottish accent?
Is this OP saying that they know?
This is OP
16?
talking about his brother and his brother's partner.
Okay,
Yep.
okay,
Honestly, I have PTSD, so my brain sometimes gets mixed up. I assume I was wrong. It turned over and over in my head, though, for a couple of days. I finally caved while my husband played video games and began a casual search into her. I Googled her name, and her address came up. Then I realized her history of addresses were all in America, all going back pretty far. So I checked her parents, and their address went back in America to before she was born.
Insane that she was putting on a fake Scottish accent.
That's crazy.
Insane.
She's doing like a whole genealogy.
Was it a
like,
good
research
Scottish
to
accent?
Get this girl out of here.
I need to know if you guys were just
Yeah.
gullible. But also, if someone
convincing.
came up to me and started doing an accent and they're like, yeah, I'm from Scotland, from Glasgow, and it was like kind of bad, I wouldn't be like, you're faking it. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
True.
I would kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. So
Yeah.
I was so confused. I Googled them and found recent obituaries of her grandparents on both sides. They're all from America. And they only mention 3 kids by her parents ever. Obituaries usually list preceding in passing, and these do, but no grandkids in that list. No additional brothers of hers. Not only that, but she lived at the same address her whole life in Kansas. I looked it up on a map and found the high school nearby and searched the yearbook. Found her 12th grade. No twin, but he passed away, so I checked 9th grade. Also no twin.
dang, no twin.
The
Twin never
deeper I
existed.
dug, the more proof of lies. What do we do at this point?
So we get, I don't know what languages she knows. I'm going to assume French, Spanish. Get a French person. You could probably find a person who speaks French.
Oh yeah, they're easy.
Comes
to find.
over. You invite him over for dinner. You're like, hey, my friend knows French. So they
What's
start
mon
speaking
toi?
French. They start speaking French.
Blanc bleu.
Parlez-vous français? Etc. And then you drive it home.
Wait,
You've
time
invited
out.
two-
You also invited someone that speaks German.
I hate you because I was about to say that. I literally wait, and then you time out and finished exactly what I was going to say.
Well, maybe I just knew what you were about to say.
Okay, I'll take that.
Only 2 marriages on record, still both alive. One did change names from male in the marriage to female in the divorce, but that seems to be the only true thing she's ever said. It's absolutely shocking. Finally, my husband said I had to tell Adam. I wasn't against it, and then as the pile got larger, I said it was an in-person conversation. He insisted it needed to be done, so I put it all together into a document and messaged Adam. I asked a few clarifying questions about the twin and the ex-husbands. I apologized and provided the information to him and hoped I was wrong. Within 10 minutes of sending it to him, he said that she admitted everything to him. He's absolutely lost now. 2 whole years, so many lies. I'm just baffled. Why? Like, if they ever got married, would it have been revealed so quickly? As it stands, she's been able to keep him away from her family by allowing them to disrespect their age gap. He's noticeably more younger than her. She refused. They never got ages, okay? She refused to go to an uncle's funeral earlier this year because she claimed he was awful. I hate questioning that, but maybe she just didn't want Adam to find out that her uncle was born and raised in Kansas, not Scotland, and so was her dad. She was here with my kids, having them fill a wound scar from an incident that never happened. There's no criminal records for either of the exes. There's none for her either, thankfully, but good Lord, I wish I could have put the cat back in the bag on this one. Why lie? Why didn't I check her background sooner? I literally checked my kids' date in high school to make sure their parents aren't on a registry or anything. I should have checked with her much sooner. Now the life and family they were building is in ruins, and I'm terrified of him losing his sobriety. I'm feeling really guilty for looking it up and telling him to. Not sure I did the right thing because he's heartbroken.
You
Am I the a-hole?
absolutely
There's
did
an
the
update.
right thing. What do you mean? What are you talking about, OP? Your brother's girlfriend lied about everything about herself.
She kind of does a little update, but I'm just going to get into it. We have an update.
Okay.
So, to catch up, brother's girlfriend of 2 years was lying about her past. From the traumatic passing of made-up twin, made-up older brother, 2 ex-husbands who are still very much alive, a made-up ex-fiance, to inventing having multiple degrees and speaking 16 languages.
She didn't lie about the first one, though. That was the truth.
But she was probably like, oh, I can get
Kernel
away
of
with
truth.
this, so I'm going to keep making lies up like
Yeah.
this. When I posted, I had uncovered some of the lies and forwarded the proof to my brother Adam. She had come clean immediately and taken him to visit her parents to explain it. She has an untreated borderline personality disorder, apparently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like we could tell you that.
I could have diagnosed you.
Oh boy, I couldn't have. My brother, who I call Adam for this, is a recovering heavy drinker with a huge heart. He was absolutely determined to stay with her and not toss her aside for being human. He thought this was the righteous and noble thing to do, not to discard someone who is struggling or damaged in their time of need. Okay, but like, they fabricated everything that you know about them.
She lied to you. You don't know her. You know her zero amount.
It's crazy. She had to lie about every single detail in her life just to get you to love her.
And then within that, had to throw in a Scottish accent.
Yes.
Yeah. You
No,
don't even know
wait,
what she sounds
She
like.
canonically threw in a Scottish accent.
Literally.
That was in the story.
Around your kids, OP.
She said she would go home to her family and come back with a Scottish accent.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Oh my god.
That's insane. This isn't like everyone makes mistakes. She fundamentally
Okay,
lied about
I-
everything.
Yes, it's sort of like degrees of murder. You have third degree where like, oh, it happened on accident, right? Which
This
one's
is
the worst one?
premeditated.
Yeah, this is premeditated. My husband and I were determined to support him regardless of his choice because we love him. She told him she could never be around us again and was scared of us.
I'm scared. Don't bring them around me.
We assured him that we would never be rude to anyone he dated and that we were more than capable of being around her. I genuinely think when she realized that we weren't going to let her isolate him by pretending like she had a reason to fear us, it was over for her. It lasted only a week after our dinner with him, where we showed him unconditional support and reminded him that he was a victim repeatedly. Following week, she went out with friends to a bar. He asked where she went and with who, since this whole thing started because she was lying about not hanging out with some knucklehead that didn't respect my brother or their relationship. She said that since she didn't have to show Adam anything to prove where she had been and that she can't heal like this, she expected to play the victim to him.
Of course she did.
As if him asking for accountability and transparency was him being controlling.
But at that point, like, break up. You know, like, I don't think Adam is at all unreasonable.
Yeah.
But if you do have to ask for that level of things, it's like, just break up.
Break up, dude. Like,
You don't
why?
know anything about this woman.
Then he said that he can't be in a relationship where he can't trust someone. She was clearly hiding who she was and was with. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
In response, she gave him 30 days to move out. By the way, we have more than 30 days of content for you to listen to on
How
your
many
favorite
days?
podcast platform. 70?
I think you're right.
You have 70 days to listen to all our content nonstop. Go watch
That's more
it.
than double 30.
That's true, Sophia. That is math. All you gotta do is go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. And guys, there's a little bit left here. Any other thoughts?
I mean, it just really feels like this guy went to her. He's like, I just feel like I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And if I were there, if I were watching the TV, I'd be throwing things. I'd be throwing the remote. I'd be throwing popcorn at him, being like, of course you don't know her. You never knew her.
yeah.
She lied about everything.
That's true. Yikes. So this weekend, we are moving him into his own place. He's, of course, still reeling from the whiplash of whatever the heck the last 2 years of lies have been with a woman he thought he would marry. He has a strong support system, though, and he's absolutely going to get through this. He's even quit smoking during this.
Wow.
Holy cow. I thought he'd start drinking, which I could not imagine trying to do in this level of chaos, but he is determined.
Yeah.
Yay.
He's like, I don't know anything about her, so maybe I don't know anything about myself.
Yeah,
And I can reinvent myself.
exactly. Thank you to everyone for the advice and support. Please don't be gullible like we were. And if something sounds too good to be true, probably is.
If
Knowing
someone
that,
ever tells you that they know 16 languages, ask them to prove it.
prove it.
My husband cheated on me, so I cheated on him too.
Eye for an eye.
Trigger warning, emotional abuse. About 8 months ago, I, 36 female, found out my husband, 33 male, was cheating on me.
How'd you find out?
He's a musician and very handsome, so of course, in bar gigs, the women like him. We have a 6-year-old daughter. Ugh.
Dude.
So many nights I can't go watch him play. I had my suspicions as he started coming home much later than normal or coming back the next day if he drank too much. But my suspicions weren't confirmed until a woman came pounding on my door. One of the women he was cheating with, there were 3 women, turned out to be a stalker.
Oh, good for your case.
Yeah, at least you can find out from that. By the way, this comes from Sad Independent 7332, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And OP says she slashed his tires and he now has a restraining order. If he was from the US like me and a citizen, I would have divorced him already, but I don't want my daughter not having a father. She loves him very much, and aside from cheating on and disrespecting her mother, he treats our daughter like she's his world. I want him out, but without me, he's likely going to be thrown out of the country. In the beginning, I wanted to fix this. He is trying to be better, showering me with affection, being very apologetic. He even stopped playing live shows and took a musical engineer's job to get away from the life a little. But it all became too much for me, and I couldn't forget or forgive what happened. For 4 months, I didn't tell a soul about what he did. I didn't want to look like a fool and didn't want our family living in the shadow of this forever, so I kept it between us. Needing to talk, I contacted an old friend of mine who I only knew from the internet and didn't know anyone in my circle. We've been friends for a decade and met as a part of a creative online community. The connection I have with this man, we're like soulmates. And I could talk to him all day, every day, but it was never romantic. I knew he was divorced and wanted to both vent and ask his advice on how to proceed with mine or what he would do in my shoes.
Sounds more like a crush. I don't know if you guys are actually soulmates.
Yeah. He was my shoulder to cry on and was very supportive of me and recommended things like marriage counseling or talking to my family.
Oh, nice.
He was under the impression that I wanted to remain married, so he spent about a month or so trying to help me fix my marriage. I never told my husband any of this. After a couple of months, I and my friend, 37 male, were talking on a daily basis, and I found myself in constant contact with him. Out to dinner with my family, I'm still texting him. Still nothing spicy or romantic. My husband's still trying to fix things, but at this point, it just feels like he's some stranger who lives in my house. I'm the breadwinner. I started having feelings for my friend.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh. Then one day, my friend mentioned he'll be near my town to see family and offered to take my family out to dinner.
I think you guys could just go to dinner, but I'm also kind of against that too.
Yeah, Opie's like, oh, my daughter's, she's at her friend's house. Oh, my husband, he's gone. I guess it's just us. He intended to take me.
Oh no, the power's out. We just got candles everywhere.
Oh no, the window was open. All those rose petals just blew in onto the bed.
Whoa, why is there just like a trail going to my bedroom? We should follow it.
Oh
my
no,
God.
this woman broke into our house.
She's playing the violin. He intended to take me, my daughter, and my husband out, and that's when I told my first lie. I didn't want my husband around because I don't ever really want him around, but just smile pretty and act like I'm okay for my daughter's sake. I told my friend my husband took my daughter somewhere else that evening and that I would meet him for dinner myself. Everything escalated so quickly. In the span of 45 minutes, we went from entirely platonic friends who never so much as flirted with each other to us having spicy sleep for a while.
Oh.
I then ugly cried in his arms.
That is wild. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one before?
No. For another hour, as it felt like everything that happened kind of crashed onto me all at once. Not to mention the guilt for what I did, because I did not want to be the sort of person who cheats like this. I love my friend. I have stronger feelings for him than I have had for any other man in my life. I know I need to end my marriage. It'll only get more toxic from here if things continue. But my God, is this a mess? How do I even start getting out of this? And there are some comments and an update.
Yeah.
But what does OP do?
Step number 1, find a divorce lawyer.
I don't know. If you really don't want
to divorce him because you want him to have a relationship with your daughter, then just talk to him and be like, hey, I don't want to divorce you because I want you to be able to stay here, but effectively we are separated.
Yep.
We are not together. I'm going to pursue other relationships. You can pursue other relationships, but we're not together. That's what you should have done. And that's what you can still do.
Yeah.
I think those are your options. It's either divorce or separation. Comment 1. Your friend doesn't love you. He got what he wanted. You came to him emotionally hurt and he knew what to say to still pretend to be a friend, but get in your pants. You did the same thing your husband did. Do yourself a favor and get divorced. Drop the affair partner friend and take care of your mental needs. Your husband cheating on you is bad, but do you really think having a friend who will F a married woman is better? Don't delude yourself. OP says he wouldn't have effed me if I hadn't thrown myself at him. I am in the wrong, he to a lesser extent, but he didn't manipulate me. When we met in person, I wanted him when I saw him. He kept the conversation upbeat and we chatted about our kids. Not once did he flirt with me that night or any other night. When we left the place, I grabbed his hand, and when we got to the car, I started other stuff. I asked him if he wanted to get to a place, and only then did he go along with what I wanted. A lot of people are acting like he preyed on me. If anything, it was the other way around, and for that I feel guilty. I love him and I think he loves me.
Oh no. Girl.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, girl. Let's slow down.
Okay.
You met him once.
I have some questions. After the deed was done, did you guys cuddle?
Yeah, good questions. But I mean, even then, it's no guarantee.
After the deed was done, did he get you dessert or any other like complimentary snacks?
Did he get you water?
There we
Did
go.
he get you water?
Were you hydrated after you went brain?
Comment 2. He's a piece of crap for cheating. Why are you stooping to his level? His cheating doesn't even out or justify your own behavior. Now you're both crap people.
Yep.
Comment 3 says your husband is a big boy. He can figure it out. Why stay and be unhappy? You also need to be honest and tell your friend everything and get out of your marriage. Your husband had multiple women from experience that won't change in the long run. Eventually, the trying will stop and he'll go back. So be happy. Cheating is never okay, so be honest. OP says, my friend knows everything now. He was the one I leaned on for all of this when I couldn't take it anymore. He was even scouting marriage counselors in my area and was actively talking about me getting therapy, as that is how he got through his divorce. When we met for dinner, it was supposed to be as friends. He'd invited my husband too and daughter. The way he was talking, he wanted to be something like a family friend. He's just such a handsome and good man. I felt safe with him. He'd have never done any of this if I didn't get him started up. I'm also aware my husband will cheat again. More and more, I think he only married me to become legal.
Oh.
I'm not nearly as attractive as his mistresses, which depresses me even more. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And there is an update. Yeah, divorce. Divorce, separate. I don't know. You need to end this somehow.
It kind of sucks because you got used by your ex.
Yeah.
He used you so he could stay in the country, and that was his only way. He didn't really have any love for you. You gotta separate.
You gotta. At the very least, you have to separate, like, pronto. ASAP.
Sophia,
Yes.
if you saw someone in a band,
Yeah.
are you more like, oh, I'm gonna take the singer home, oh, I'm gonna take the guitarist home? Who are you taking home?
What about the drummer?
I was asking her that.
Always
You left
the
out
drummer.
the you can't have a band without a drummer.
You can't have a band
I
without
know
a drummer.
that. I was wanting her to say that.
And I said the drummer. I'm taking the drummer. Update. So the spookiest part of my Halloween was being awkwardly confronted by my husband after my daughter went to sleep. He asked me about my affair partner and how long I'd been talking to him. He didn't ask in a forceful way, but sort of an awkward, please be truthful kind of way. I told him that I contacted him because he was an old friend and I needed someone outside our regular circle of family and friends to discuss his infidelity. So a rumor mill wouldn't get going. In fairness, that part was 100% true. He was slowly working his way up to an accusation, so I just flat out told him that I slept with my affair partner.
Oh.
He asked me if I loved affair partner, and I told him I did. He asked me if I still loved him at all. I broke down crying and told him that I can't anymore. That he was the perfect man for me, but after what he did to us, I just can't look at him the same way again. That I thought his judgment was better than what it is. I did then apologize for what I did and said my own judgment has been compromised. He said that he still loves me and he's back to saying that he just got caught up in the moment with these women, which is ridiculous because it went on for months. He then got angry and said if I had to get revenge and sleep with more men to even the score, then I could. But that it had to stop and that we needed to seek therapy together.
Oh, wow.
I told him I would rather be divorced or at least separated until his immigration status is settled and then divorce, which looks like what's going to happen. But you know what's going to happen. You guys are going to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
When you're the cheater fighting an uphill battle with these demands, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you can't just be like, we need to go to therapy. It's like, no, we're done, dude. We're done. OP, I feel like, understands that she did something wrong. And she's like, yeah, and that's why we need to leave each other because this isn't working.
This guy's going to feel these emotions. He's going to be hurt. Even though he did the wrong thing,
Yeah.
he still looks at you as if you are in a monogamous relationship and this is just what's happening on the side. So he's going to have those.
Because OP said that they would work through it, but you couldn't. You can't. So don't try anymore.
Even if she said that they wouldn't work through it, he's still going to feel those feelings. Inevitably.
But there's a little bit left. So he's now staying in the basement guest room. I'm in my normal bedroom, and the separation has begun. I'm going to help him with his immigration status, as despite my anger, I'd rather not think about my friend of all these years living in the conditions he used to, or worse, my daughter visiting there and getting kidnapped or something. So I will do him this final favor, and we will go our separate ways. I contacted my affair partner to tell him that he and I ought to slow things down for the foreseeable future until all of this can be ironed out. But he was only going to be in town for a couple more days, so we went out and I let him do his thing. Anyway, that's about it.
Dude, that's just
What do
a
you mean?
wild thing to say. Hey,
I let him do his thing.
we ought to slow things down.
We ought to slow things down.
You know what his
but
thing is,
I let
right?
him do his thing. Drumming, that's his thing.
Whoa, I wasn't going to say that about him. His things may go brain, but drumming.
Oh,
Dang.
I didn't even
Is that what
say
you call?
that.
Is that what kids call it these days? Drum-a-dum-dum.
Drum.
My boyfriend stole a stranger's ice cream because someone dared him.
I double dog dare you.
Ooh.
I guarantee you he went, it's just a prank, bro.
This is just a prank, brother. But we were walking around this evening, and he, the boyfriend, I believe, mentioned wanting to get ice cream, hadn't brought any money, and neither had I. We usually take a walk after dinner and don't buy stuff during it unless we decided beforehand that we wanted to get something that night. By the way, this comes from Catmunist Manifesto on the r/OK Storytime.
That's a great name.
So, as we're walking past a group of people, he made a sudden movement to the side and then started running in the opposite direction, full speed. I wonder what could have happened. Yo, what are you doing,
He made a
bro?
move.
What? It was so fast. I hadn't seen exactly what he did. People were saying things like "Holy crap" and "OMG." Another guy said, "He took my ice cream." And that's when I realized what had happened. He had effing stolen this guy's ice cream on a busy street.
Wow.
I was absolutely shocked and mortified. Everyone around us had seen it or else quickly got told about it. They were staring and pointing down the street where he was still running.
There's the ice cream bandit. Get him.
Get him off
There
the
he
side.
is.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I apologized repeatedly to the man whose ice cream he grabbed. I apologized repeatedly to the man whose ice cream he'd grabbed, then said I was going to go find him and got myself out of there. Utterly humiliating. Well, he'd nearly made it back to the house in that time. I got there a few minutes later and found out that he had been crouched in the stairway, fiercely eating the ice cream out of the cup. He scrambled when he heard me coming, dropping the ice cream everywhere. He literally left the cup on the stairs and ran away from me up to our apartment. They lived together. So there you go.
And I assume no words have been exchanged yet either.
Yeah.
Just silent, primal fear eyes.
But I had the key. So he was just standing there when I got up there. I, of course, demanded an explanation. He had the balls to deny that he had done anything. I've done nothing wrong.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
That was another beast.
Maybe this guy is somehow on a real life hard mode.
Yes.
Where someone was like, the next person you see eating ice cream, you have to take it and then deny you did anything.
Yes. So he insisted he didn't know what I was talking about. I sort of lost it and just started yelling at him. The cup is down the stairs. Your hands and mouth are covered in the ice cream. A dozen people literally saw you snatch it right out of a guy's hand. What the F do you mean you don't know? He then changed his story and said that it was just a joke. There it is.
It was
It
was just a prank, bro.
was just a prank.
It was just a prank, bro.
He decided to reenact a YouTube prank video. Or a random stranger? How is that a prank? After I let us inside, I kept asking what makes him think that that's okay to do. And he changed the story again. Bro is layered. Okay, he's very complex.
Bro has 2 wolves inside of him.
Yeah.
One wolf wants ice cream.
And those dogs are barking.
And the other, I guess, is a liar. I don't know. None of this is making any sense. What's going on?
Well, here's the new explanation, okay? This time, he said he doesn't know why he did it. It was just an urge. I didn't even know what to say, so I told him I needed some time to myself. I'm seriously disturbed. He's got no good reason. This is completely out of character for him. He's always very mild, reserved, and treats people, especially me, very kindly. He's the last person I had thought would do something like this. What do I do next to figure out what the F that was about? How can I know if he's even being honest? Opie has some relevant comments.
Really quick here, like there is a way to do this where it's you're not a villain. Like the way to do it is certainly not run away with the stranger's ice cream and eat it alone in a stairwell. It's like maybe take the ice cream, eat it in front of the guy, and then you go, no, this was like a social experiment. Here's like $25.
Okay.
And even then, it's still like very close to the edge of like, what are you doing? The fact that there's there's nothing. This is just for him. It's like, I don't know. Also, you leave the ice cream intact. Like you don't just, I don't know what this guy was thinking, but there's a way to do it where you're not the villain and he did it the wrong way. This guy's breaking my brain, man.
Well, we might have some explanation that may or may not help us figure this out.
Wait, I just really quick, the only way this is acceptable is if he got paid to do it because this was secretly an episode of Impractical Jokers. And that's it. That's all. That's it. Because then that's it. I'll leave it at that.
That's it. That's the only thing Dakota will accept.
Impractical Jokers.
Well, Opie is added in the comments. So adding this to a top comment so anyone still following will see. Last night, I asked him again what he was thinking. He said, Jesus, I don't know. I already told you. Oh, God. I said I couldn't accept that answer because it's not a real answer. I told him we needed to talk about it because after reading some comments, some of the comments last night, I needed to know if something was going on with him mentally. He said it wasn't. I started naming possible things he could be stressed about, like job, family, money, and he said it was all going fine. And to my knowledge, that's true. If something's going on, then he's hiding it well. He was visibly annoyed by my questioning, and when I eventually asked if he realized how bizarre it was, he snapped, "Who effing cares? Please stop bothering me, I'm busy."
Okay, now this is when you just go, I'll stop bothering you forever because I'm breaking up with you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's for real. Like, there's no going back from that now.
Yeah.
I don't care what explanation you have after that. Goodbye forever.
Sayonara.
Yeah.
He refused to talk about it anymore after that, but has been talking about other stuff as normal. It's like he's just pretending that it never happened. If it hadn't happened, there's nothing about his behavior right now that would be weird to me. So now I feel like I'm crazy if I just bring it up anymore. I don't know if I need to just forget about it like he is or what. I'm still stunned and very confused. We have some more relevant comments here from Alma00019 who says, if he had a lapse in judgment and thought it was a funny prank, then I feel like he would be laughing when you found him and being all like, dude, did you see the look on their faces? Ha ha ha. Want some ice cream, babe? Instead, the way you wrote it, it sounds like he was furiously eating the ice cream he stole and then ran away from you when he saw you coming So he wasn't doing it as a joke. The way you write it sounds like he was manic, like an animal completely going on instinct.
Yes. Like, like the spirit of a chimpanzee just inhabited his body.
Bro. He wanted ice cream that badly that he grabbed someone's ice cream out of their hand, hightailed it home, and started shoveling it down his throat greedily and then ran away once he saw you coming. All of that sounds so insane, I don't even know what to say. I think he's probably embarrassed and doesn't want to talk about it. If it was a psychotic episode or something tied to mental illness, I wouldn't expect him to know/realize this. So asking him, did you have a psychotic episode? Do you have a history of mental illness? Isn't going to be very fruitful, and it will just make him more defensive. You have to get him to see a professional, but don't be accusatory or make him feel like he's crazy. OP responds to this comment. Yes, the way you describe it is exactly how it happened. He wasn't laughing at any point. When he was trying to convince me it was a joke, he sounded more defensive and panicky than amused with himself. If I can't tell him about the possibility of a psychotic episode, then how can I get him to see someone? He won't see any reason to go. We have what I believe is our final update. This is our final update here.
Please give us something.
Do we break up?
They better. Are you serious?
We have one final update for him to prove he's worth it.
Let's get it.
So I finally got the explanation from him yesterday.
Okay.
It's all going to be revealed. Turns out that he was in a Discord server chat where all the members dare each other to humiliate themselves by doing outlandish things in public that they would never do. He told me he's left the group because the experience was really stressful to him.
What? You know what's really stressful? Not just saying that from the very beginning, dude.
How was that hard? I don't understand.
Still breaking up with this guy at Mach 15. I am breaking up with this guy. And also, he needs to go to the moon. All right, I don't think he's earned the sun. I don't think he's earned the Oort cloud, but my God, he needs to go to the moon and look at the earth and say, please let me back.
Give him a moon.
I promise I won't do anything like this again. To the moon with this one.
Send him. Get him out of here.
He
told me he's left the group because the experience was really stressful to him. Not exciting like he thought it would be when he joined. It was the first time that he'd taken one of the dares. He said that afterwards, he just didn't know what to say and couldn't believe that he'd actually done it. Oh, I saddened myself. By the way, if you want to unsadden yourself, you can join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Tap our profile. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, TikTok. You go watching? Join.
And don't forget the Twitch babies.
Don't
We know
forget.
you're out there.
We know you're out there.
We love you all.
So, yeah, you're still team just dump them.
I'm honestly, this is one of the worst explanations it could have ever been. Is that there's no reason for him to not. He's just like, I didn't know what to say. It's like, you say it's a prank. What?
I will say this, and I think you're gonna hate me. I would I think he's on probation, and like any slip up that happens, like, okay, horrible explanation, horrible reason, stupid. Why did you not tell me all of those things? Like, look, you embarrassed me, like all those things. You can never do that again. If it happened, I guess, one time, and maybe I'm like thinking about it in terms of my own relationship, but I'm like, if it happened one time,
it does depend on how long you've been together, what your actual, how tightly knit you are.
Yeah.
If this is someone you've been dating for like a couple months,
Get him out of it.
To the moon.
Yeah, to the moon.
And you know what?
To the moon.
You
I
said
agree.
probation. It's like technically that's on our cosmic ranking scale of like people's naughtiness. Like
Right.
the moon is essentially probation. You go
Cosmic
to the
probation.
moon,
Yeah.
and then you get to come back to Earth after you stay there for a while and realize how absolutely ridiculous your decisions and behavior were.
Yes.
So I think break up with this guy, right?
Yep.
And then if he really does try to make it up to you, maybe you consider letting him back if that's something you want. But honestly, I don't think I'd ever be able to look at the guy the same way again.
That's perfectly fair. I totally understand anyone that couldn't stay with him again.
Every time you see ice cream in public with him, you're like,
Oh,
are Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, trauma.
Every time I
Drama.
see ice cream for the rest of my
Yeah.
life, regardless, I'm gonna think of this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've now imprinted a permanent memory upon ice cream for me.
I don't know. OP did say that like he's a good guy. Like he's never done anything. Like he's very reserved.
That's what I was saying.
That's what
I'm like,
he's like, what drove him to do this?
I don't know.
I guess if this
Yeah.
is the one, but you know what honestly happens with so many of these stories, I feel like, is they're like, oh, they're the most perfect person, but, and then proceeds to describe the worst thing anyone's ever done, and then it's like, oh, but also like they suck in all these other areas. So like, okay, so yeah, so they're terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing, except, you know, they kicked my mom down a flight of stairs, and actually they're like really terrible and they like hate me and they like are a horrible partner too. So it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy falls in that category. If
Yeah.
he does, get him out of here. I'm totally good with dumping him. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be mad at anyone who dumped him.
Yeah.
But to finish out, he was extremely apologetic for acting like a lunatic, causing me to worry about him. We had a long talk about it last night. I believe he genuinely regrets it. He knows that what a stupid F up that it was. Not much else to say, really. Just wanted to come back now that I got all the answers. Thank you to everyone who tried to make sense out of it in the original post and who gave me advice for talking with him. It looks like, at least as of now, at least where we've left it, they are staying together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would break as soon as the like, oh, we're still talking about this? Drop it. That's when I leave
Yeah.
instantaneously.
Because you
'Cause it's like,
already...
first of all,
Yeah.
sir, who on earth do you think you're talking to?
Ooh.
You just like went full Gollum mode, stole a stranger's ice cream, and now you have the nerve to be like, shut up, we're not talking about it. You're right, because I'm leaving forever. Like, go to the moon still to the moon with this one. Still to the moon. I don't care how remorseful he is. He could be remorseful on the moon and then come back.
That's the whole point.
A little bit. But he has to go to the moon.
That's the whole point of it.
Discord.
Discord. Our
Ooh.
little TikTok sound dance. Ooh. Yeah, our Discord would never.
No, our Discord would never.
Right?
Never. I would
Never,
hope.
never, ever.
I would hope never. Yeah.
I like the plan.
Yeah.
I'm super on board. I'm super on board for this
to the
plan.
moon.
To the moon.
I just don't think. And look, clearly, the OP is more cued into their relationship and how much of it would be, how worth it would be to
Of
stay with
course.
this guy. Yeah, but I can't imagine.
With everything we have, he's not a keeper.
I can't.
Everything, all the
imagine.
context we have, he's not a keeper.
My friend took advantage of me financially, so I blocked her.
But like, how advantage?
How much of it?
How much?
How much?
How much money?
Names and certain details have been changed to try and stay as anonymous as possible. I, 28 male, have known my best friend, let's call her Marie, 25 female, for 10 years. We've been inseparable since we met in high school and have been through some very traumatic experiences together, mostly revolving around relationships and general life experience. By the way, this comes from Organic Corgi 1853 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So we've very rarely had any problems, save for simple miscommunications. I moved in with Marie and her now ex-husband, Mike, 26 male, 2 years ago, where the ex-husband paid the majority of the bills while I pitched in what I could. He paid $1,400. I paid $800.
That was kind of them.
Yeah. A year ago, we were forced out of the apartment we lived in due to a rent increase that they said they couldn't elaborate why on, effing landlords. As such, they bought a house since apartment rent near his job was astronomical and they had multiple pets no apartment would allow. 7 total.
That was a lot of bets.
This would have been fine, except they had no down payment for the house and got a crap interest rate. So Mike's $1,400 turned into $3,000 and my $800 turned into $1,400. Notice how I haven't mentioned Marie's rent yet.
Oh.
I'm confused. Was that less than what the apartment rent was going to be?
No, it didn't increase.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying they had to leave the apartment because they couldn't afford the increase.
Oh, God.
Can they afford this?
Yeah. Like they left to save money,
Yeah.
but then they went to a place that's even more expensive.
Anyways, the husband's job required him to be out of the country for most of the year, so he basically bought the house and never lived in it. Marie decided that this would be a wonderful time to put the deed in her name and the debt in his name.
Wait, what?
Whoa, that seems like she's scamming her husband.
Yeah, what?
This should have been my first clue, but she told me the relationship was horrendous, so I let it go.
She's
like,
like
"Don't worry, it
stealing a
really
house from her
sucks."
husband, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, but he's kind
He's gonna pay all the debt.
a-hole," and you're
Yeah,
like,
he sucks.
"Okay."
Fast forward a few months, and Marie starts flirting with a friend of ours, Ben, 28 male, and it escalates to where she flies to where Mike is working and tells him she wants a divorce.
Oh.
She flies back and tells me Ben makes enough money to where I won't have to pay rent anymore.
OP's just getting strung along with
Yeah.
Marie and like her men that are like
Yeah, she's
covering
just-
his money.
Taking advantage of all these guys, and she's like, yeah, they'll pay for you, don't worry.
Yeah, and OP's like, "Let's go."
I'm like, okay. I was broke AF at the time from rent, so I didn't really care about anything else. And Mike and I had our own issues. But
Mike?
again, should have been a clue. Mike was the ex-husband.
Okay.
Or, well, current
Wait, so
husband. I
OP
guess.
is male?
Male friend, yeah. Around that time, I started dating my now fiance, Jen, 31 female, and she moved in with me to help with bills. Marie and Jen had a rocky start as Marie decided to sleep with Jen's roommate while she was dating Ben and before the divorce was filed. What?
What? So she like cheated on 2 people?
Yeah. Marie told both of us Ben was just an F buddy at the time. But it wasn't just the fact that Marie was sleeping with her roommate. It was the fact that, in her words, Marie basically invaded their house. The roommate and Jen were renting from the owner. Neither of their names were on the house. So OP's current roommate, Marie, started dating Ben while she was, I think, or like her husband was away. I don't think they were fully divorced yet. It doesn't seem like. So
But she had asked for a divorce because of Ben, because things were progressing with Ben.
Yes. So she asked for a divorce, but they're not fully divorced. So she starts dating Ben. While she's dating Ben, she starts sleeping with OP's fiance's roommate before the divorce was filed.
Messy.
So that's okay. Marie told both of us Ben was just an F buddy at the time, but it wasn't just the fact that Marie was sleeping with her roommate. It was the fact that, in her words, Marie basically invaded their house. The roommate and Jen were running from the owner. Neither of their names were on the house. So now Marie is basically infiltrating OP's fiance's place too. Marie was basically always there, and Jed did mention to me she was frustrated she saw Marie more often than she got to see me. Her roommate was also awful at respecting boundaries, but Jen tried to set them nonetheless.
Dude, OP is a master
Yeah.
at like seducing people for free rent.
Yeah. We recently figured out that Marie was not only dating Ben and the roommate while still telling her husband there may be a chance when he got home,
Whoa.
but she was also talking to multiple other men at the same time. How does she have the time?
Yeah, right?
How does she have the time?
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Keon.
That's crazy.
Hound.
That's crazy. The minute Jen moved in, Ben lost the high-paying job I was promised would free me of rent obligations.
OP's like, what the hell?
And he's like,
That's all
wait
I
a
care
minute,
about."
my rent. Because of this, we've essentially taken over mortgage payments for a house that's not ours, even though that's not was discussed with Jen when she first moved in. It was explained to her that everything would be split into 4 equal parts, and somehow our portion was $2K.
The house that
So Ben, Marie, OP, and now Jen were all going to be living in a house together. Ben
Okay.
loses his job and is no longer able to pay for the rent.
Uh-huh.
But also, it seems like Jen was under the impression that it would be 4 equal parts, but we also know that OP was going to be paying less. So I don't understand this. Since then, Jen has pointed out multiple points where Marie has gone beyond regular ribbing that friends do and has been regularly disrespecting me, making multiple comments on my weight, pointing out failures in college, and blaming me when bills are late or not paid for. Even though when she and Ben are late or don't have it, I have covered them with no promise or even inclination of repayment.
Really?
Fast forward to now, Marie has now threatened my fiance with physical violence because of what she perceives as outright disrespect, and threatened our 2 dogs with the same because they like to jump on her with dirt on their paws.
Not the dogs.
Which honestly doesn't even happen that often anymore because Jen has been working with them for a while. From what I've seen, there's been no signs of disrespect from Jen, only from Marie, who doesn't seem to realize we're essentially paying her rent in a house we don't own and can't cover our own bills because of it. Y'all need to leave. Why are we living with Marie? We should leave Marie.
Marie is an interesting person to choose for a 10-year
Yeah.
deep friendship.
Why are we still here? Like, obviously she's at fault, but like, OP. Marie is also starting to complain that Jen specifically doesn't help with groceries. Again, when she first moved in, she was told that our rent included part of a grocery budget. But then that changed after Marie stopped doing any grocery shopping and it started to fall on Jen and I. No communication about it, she just stopped. There was one occasion where Jen spent almost $300 by herself on just groceries and things for the house, and she barely got a thank you from Marie or Ben. There was another incident where I had spent my last $100 on groceries. Then Marie and Ben refused to pay any part simply for the fact that they didn't get to help pick what was purchased. but they sure had no problems eating what was purchased. I've told her multiple times the house we live in isn't worth keeping if we can't afford it, and she needs to sell it or give it back to the bank, and we need to bail out. She refuses to do either since it's hard to get a house in the current economy to begin with. As much as I can understand that, it's not my problem overall. I've been honest about wanting to move back near my family. It's been the plan all along, but it's taken longer than I wanted because I've been kind of stuck here bailing her out.
Wait. So they're renting this house? They own this? What's going on?
So it seems like I don't fully understand, but I think
I'm
that
lost.
OP, from what I understand, OP and Jen are paying rent to this house that they don't own and are not on the lease of. I think Marie's husband was on the lease, and she was trying to put OG husband, and she was trying to put her name on it.
Okay.
And now we have like Ben's living there too.
Okay.
Just crazy. And OP is saying that he's been wanting to move back to the family, but now he's having to like consistently pay for Marie, and so like can't save up and stuff. That's what it seems like. She has messaged me and said to my face that if I move out with Jen, that would be me choosing my fiance over her. Yeah. And she would want nothing to do with me after the fact, and the friendship would be essentially over.
I mean,
oh no, what a loss. What a great loss.
hey, she's wonderful persuasion skills.
That's true.
Okay, so
Even went so far as to say I was delusional to think it would go any other way.
and I feel like we also skipped over the fact that she like physically threatened
Yes,
OP's
Jen.
fiance and OP's dogs.
Yes.
Like OP
why
just
do you
kind of
want to be
mentioned it and
friends
was
with
like,
that
and also like these other like money things, even though she like threatened them.
Yeah, Mowgli says, stop bailing her out. She sounds like a useless, horrible person. My family has offered a place to stay a few states away for both me and Jen until we get on our feet. My original plan was to give a heads up to Marie, but after her threats and the way she's treated herself like a victim, I've lost any sense of morality toward the issue. They're leaving for a few days this weekend, and Jen and I plan to pack while they're gone and move into a motel until we can secure either cheap accommodations or secure a moving company to transfer our stuff. We plan to leave a note and our keys saying what's happened, and when we leave, I'm blocking her on everything, but we'll also be sending a folder of evidence of her infidelity to Ben so he can leave as well. I'm struggling with the fact that I'm abandoning this person I've known for my whole life. It feels like I'm destroying her life, even though logic tells me this is the consequences of her actions. So would I be the a-hole? No. Get out of there.
Get out.
Get out of there. That's all I have to say. There's an update. That's all I have to get out of there.
It's not your responsibility to ruin your
No.
life and be in a terrible situation because Marie continuously makes bad decisions and continuously disrespects people.
Yep. Hello all. Update.
Hello.
Thank you all for the support and yes, even the hard truths in the comments of my last post. Some things were definitely hard to hear, but I needed to hear them. First off, I'd like to say that Jen and I are out and safe.
Amazing.
We're storing the majority of our stuff in the garage of a friend of hers who will also be letting us move in temporarily while we get stuff figured out for the big move to where my family is.
Pause for one sec.
Secondly, yes.
Really important comment from Winchester by Queen. I'm so confused too. I'm not sure I trust OP either. He seems okay with her manipulating all the other guys to pay his rent, but gets mad when the wheel lands on him.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like,
So it's
OP
like-
seems like he was like, yeah, she's cheating on her husband. Meh.
Well, at least I
she's
get free
using
rent.
Ben.
I'll take the free
Yeah.
rent.
I'll take the free rent.
And then it's like, oh, now I have to pay for everything?
Yeah.
Secondly, I would like to acknowledge some of the not so kind comments I've received. Yes, a lot of you were right to point out that I was wrong for going along with a lot of the sketchy stuff
Yes.
Marie was doing. Because I was. Not to excuse anything I've done, but 10 years worth of what even Jen would call gaslighting and manipulation isn't something you can just overcome overnight. It honestly took Jen pointing a lot of things out to me for me to be able to take a step back and realize what a bad person Marie really was. And I'm extremely grateful to her for that. I wish I would have woken up in a sense sooner, but hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? And yes, Jen is a saint for staying with me and putting up with this. She tried her best to warn me about what Marie was, having had some experience with I should have listened sooner, and that'll be my mistake to make up for. I couldn't have done this without her. After we both talked about it, we did decide against sending Ben the evidence. The point was to get out of the situation, and we've done that now. Being vindictive now would just make us as bad as her. We agree that she'll make the same mistake again. It's just a matter of time, so we'll let karma handle that one herself. We've also discussed starting couples counseling once we've made the big move across states. We both feel like we would benefit from it, given all we've been through. I will also be seeking individual therapy myself because I'm honestly not doing so hot right now. But it would be really hot of you guys if you went and listened to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime.
Kind of sexy.
That would be really hot of you.
Like really hot.
And there is a little bit left, but yeah, my final thought is just, you know, leave Marie in the past and pay your rent.
Yeah.
Pay your own rent. Pay your own rent.
The shortcuts to not paying your rent are not worth it.
No. And there's a little bit left. And that's pretty much it. Probably won't update again unless anything happens with Marie, but as far as we both know, we have blocked her on everything, and she has no way to contact us or any idea where we are. We're both terrified and excited for this next step of our lives. I thought they were going to say they were terrified of Marie.
Yeah, I would be.
But I can't imagine a better partner to take the step with, and I hope Jen feels the same.
Oh.
Lovely.
Oh.
I'm envious of my stepdaughter because of the time she spends with her father.
Oh man, I don't even have some quippy for this one. I'm just like, let's get into it.
Ooh, and this one comes straight from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. This is another one of our own. So, I, 35 female, married my husband, 35 male, 1 year ago after a little over a year of dating. This is the first marriage for both of us, but we both came to the relationship with one child. Mine is a son, currently 11, and his is a daughter, currently 9. We will call my son Josh and his daughter April. By the way, this comes from Cashew Lover 2601, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my husband, who I'll refer to as Atlas, is a refugee immigrant U.S. citizen who was born and raised in a Central Asian country, former Soviet Union, and he moved to the U.S. at age 16 and has been here ever since. I admire him so much and love him so much. Our relationship has had its challenges, mostly external, but we have stayed friends and lovers through it all, and I can't imagine being married to anyone else. He is solid, reliable, responsible, beloved by all, takes care of, and protects his family, myself included, so fiercely. This is all pertinent. When we got together, neither of us were looking for a relationship. We were doing the single parent thing and content with our lives, raising our kids. He shares custody of his daughter with an ex, and my son is fully with me and doesn't see his dad at all. As I mentioned, our relationship was kind of a whirlwind. Being parents, we both kind of knew what we wanted, were mature, felt like we knew ourselves pretty well, and were financially established in our own right. When we decided to move in together, Atlas and April naturally moved in with Josh and I because they had been staying in a studio and I had a 2-bedroom condo in a very expensive city. At the time, the kids were 7 and 9, so we had them share a room with the 2 twin beds, and my son was gracious to give up some of his space with no complaints. In fact, he was excited and called her his sister pretty quickly. That's so cute.
That's adorable.
It's really good.
Aw.
It's always scary for me when these start out really well.
No, I know, right?
It's like,
They
that
usually
sounds
plummet.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like, so far, this is just a lovely story.
Yeah. And
Nothing-
we end here, and
Yeah.
we just go, I'm so glad everybody's happy.
Exactly. It's like finishing La La Land 15 minutes before the end.
We'll talk about
Turning
the
it
ending
off,
of La La
turning
Land.
Wait,
it off.
you've seen it?
Nope, but I've seen the memes. Sorry, guys. I could have gotten away with that, Riley. You didn't have
Yeah.
to throw that in there.
I probably shouldn't bring this up, but my ex did tell me our story was going to be like La La Land. Like, not even a weekend of us dating or
How
like
well do
being
you play
together.
piano?
A weekend. Not very good.
Well, she didn't know what she was talking about.
She had no idea. She seemed excited at first, but the novelty wore off pretty quickly, and she became much more closed off to Josh for a bit. Now, 2.5 years later, they get along and have a lot in common, and also bicker and argue quite a bit too. What I'm told is typical sibling behavior. I'm guessing OP is an only child. Sorry it's taking so long for me to get to the point, but I feel like all of this context is important to my issue. At first, all was great in the condo. Atlas had told me in his culture it was normal for families to co-sleep for a long time, and in their studio he had originally gotten April her own bed, but she inevitably ended up sleeping with him every night. They are very cuddly, affectionate, and sweet with one another, and him being a great dad is one of my biggest attractions to him. I, on the other hand, am not a super touchy-feely type of person. So when we put the kids to bed at night, Atlas would crawl in April's bed and they would read some stories, talk, fall asleep wrapped in each other's arms. Me with Josh was me sitting in a chair next to his bed. We would also read and talk, and I would rub his back until he fell asleep, which is how we have operated since he was like 3. So when Atlas would fall asleep with April, I would typically wait a bit and then wake him up to come hang out with me before bed, and we would go to bed together. It's also important to note that the first few months of our relationship, April only came to our house on weekends, then she switched to staying with us for the school year. That year was fine. She would occasionally have nightmares and come into our bed. It was uncomfortable for me, so I let Atlas know and even went to sleep on the couch a few nights when this happened. He tried to be mindful of keeping her away from my side of the bed, but about a year into our relationship, the nightmares increased to the point that she was coming into our bed almost nightly. And I was super uncomfortable with this, both physically and emotionally. So it was around 14 months in, we started looking for a bigger place to accommodate us because we knew we couldn't keep the kids together in a room much longer and our relationship was solid. See, it feels like there's not giant problems so far. I'm still scared.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm trying to figure out is because the ages were what, 7 and 9?
7 and 9
and
at
then a little bit
first.
older, so it's what, 9 and 11?
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody's like entitled to their own opinions and their own feelings. It is interesting to me that she is so like, I was really uncomfortable with like his 9-year-old daughter like coming in like after a nightmare. Like that's the one thing that's kind of flagging to me. So I'm like, okay, well, why? That to me seems pretty normal kid stuff where like you have a nightmare and you come. So I don't know.
And because she did say both physically and emotionally uncomfortable too.
I know, and I'm kind of like, I'm not saying you can't feel that way,
right?
But why? Like, what's going on there that you're like, I hate that she has a nightmare and comes to her father for I don't know.
We were super blessed to find an affordable 3-bedroom home in a great neighborhood. And even though April was switching to her mom's for that school year, we figured we would get all of us queen-sized beds and use April's room for company when it was vacant. And also, he could go sleep in her room with her when she has a nightmare, since our current setup/situation was making me uncomfortable. Felt like the perfect solution. Now, on to my issue. She's at our home less, but as most married couples know, weekends are sometimes ideal for spicy sleep time because you don't have to be up super early for work. But she's with us on weekends, and either he falls asleep in there with her or she'll come to the room late in the night and he'll go sleep with her then. Even though this is the compromise I agreed to, I'm still feeling increasingly some type of way about the amount of time he spends sleeping with her. Just to clarify, I do not feel their relationship is inappropriate or he's being creepy. I know their cultural background of co-sleeping being quite normal. I in no way feel judgmental. I'm just struggling with feeling a bit envious, and I don't want to say jealous because that makes me feel pathetic since I'm not in competition with his child. But still, I do feel hurt. And I managed this by being kind of cold and distant towards him the following day. Not what I want to do, nor am I proud of this reaction, just being honest. We have had conversations about this, and it's kind of a stalemate. He's already compromised by not allowing her in our bed, which he's very thoughtful about. When we started this relationship, we both agreed the kids come first in the sense that we had very established bonds with our kids and their health and safety would always be #1 priority. But that, of course, is such a broad thing. Like, we are both spiritual, and our faith is one of the foundational cornerstones of our relationship. In my faith, it says God first, then your spouse and kids next, because it's important to have the right balance in the family. This being the first time both of us are formally married, we have both taken our vows, commitment, and intentions of our marriage very seriously. We've attended therapy, read books, gone to marriage seminars. All the professionals just say blending a family is hard. A good blend can take up to 7 years. Wow, that's a long time.
I guess it makes sense in terms of like nurture is such a everybody's unique upbringings are so specific that then you put them in the same house. Even just something of like having like a roommate or something and suddenly being like, you refrigerate that. Yeah. That's fascinating. I've never seen anybody refrigerate like the peanut butter or whatever. And so like I guess it makes sense where if you're adding all this familial stuff into it. But 7 years, it's still.
Yeah, and I wonder too if that comes from like starting kids after marriage, you know, like, so it takes the 7 years of like them growing up to kind of see how the kids are and how they're adapting to life. I don't know. But I wonder if the kids already being a bit older before they became a family is like affecting that.
You're dealing with a lot more personalities that haven't had time to match.
And like different experiences of growing up too.
Yeah.
But I'm still feeling defeated, even though it felt humiliating to share these feelings with Atlas because, again, the jealous word just feels cringe. When I did bring it up to my husband, he had the sweetest answer that made me love him even more. He said, I don't get to be with her all the time, and I never want her to be lacking the love that she craves because when the time comes that she seeks attention and validation elsewhere, I want her to have the highest level of expectations because I've been there for her, showing her what true love looks like. That is really sweet. Aw. This made so much sense to me, especially coming from a divorced family with my own daddy wounds. My mind does not want to feel this way, but I can't control my heart. And there is a little bit more to the story, but that's sweet.
And I think somebody even mentioned it in the comments of like, oh, well, it's good that OP is self-aware. You know, they're saying, I don't, it's weird to, like, it is a weird, awkward feeling to have. We have awkward feelings as human beings on this planet.
I don't want to feel it, but it's there.
So it's like, it's good. I'm glad she's there. But it's always such an interesting thing with these stories where I feel like you always just kind of get to the point where you're like, well, there's only so much I as Reddit can do to help you. At some point, you just kind of got to sit and reflect or like journal, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, a big thing that she seems to be focusing on is like the kind of intimate part of their relationship, and that is something that I've heard married couples with kids have a trouble with. You know, like I'm obviously not married, I don't have kids, but I hear that people are like, well, once you have kids, it's like you don't really have time to do any of that stuff. So I wonder if they just kind of need to figure out their schedules and so when they can like have their
get
alone
the planners
time.
out.
Yeah, right. Also, a side note, he is such a great dad. He doesn't treat her like a little princess all the time. He has high standards for both the kids and loves them wholeheartedly. He is firm but fair while also being very affectionate. Also, I have done everything in my own power to not let my feelings affect how I treat April. Of course, I am closer to Josh because we know each other more. But I am mindful not to mistreat her or be harsher with her, even though I am harboring those hard feelings. Part of me is just telling myself to keep my head down and wait it out. She'll get older and won't need or crave this level of closeness with her dad. Nor do I feel like my husband would find it appropriate to sleep with her after puberty. But I don't know. Am I the a-hole for harboring these feelings? Is there something else I should do or say? Thanks. It really helps to get it all out. And there are some comments. Comment number 1 says, not the a-hole for having the feelings, but why are you cold to him the next day? I'm hoping that was what you found yourself doing prior to your conversation and you no longer do it. Don't punish him for being a good father. Congratulate yourself for choosing a good man. I think it's great that you've identified the emotion and have discussed it with your husband. I also think it's wise to be mindful of how you treat her and make sure it's not affecting how you treat her. Perhaps consider counseling to explore why you're hanging on to those feelings. This stage will pass. Comment number 2 says, after kids go to bed, it's bonding time with your partner, verbally, physically. I can totally see why you feel a second, and that's okay. Have you looked at trying to find the cause of the nightmares or the content? I personally dream so realistically that sometimes I cannot tell if it happened or was a dream. I have had to eliminate certain things from my life because nightmares were so intense. Wow. It's drastically reduced mine, and I'm no longer afraid to go to bed as a full-grown adult. That's the end of that story.
My wife confessed to her affair because she regretted it.
My wife?
I'm 27 male, lost after a confession from my wife, 29 female. I'm stuck in my own head and need an outside perspective. For some context, we're college sweethearts, married for 6 years, and we have a daughter, 4 female. My wife's not only my first love, but also my best friend. The family we built means the world to me. Recently, our marriage hit a rough patch when my in-laws, 59 female and 59 male, stayed with us for a few months. It put a lot of strain on our relationship. My mother-in-law has always been gracious, but my father-in-law never approved of us. I'm not on his top 5 choices for his daughter. He straight up told me I wasn't good enough for her. He even initially refused to walk her down the aisle because of his disapproval of me.
Ooh.
He's our biggest obstacle. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Radio Sauna, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm trying to ignore him. We no longer had our space as a couple and family. My father-in-law took over everything and undermined me to our daughter. He called it his grandfather rights. He came between my wife and I. She would make excuses for him or say he still needed her dad. We were pitted against each other. We stopped communicating, fought often with no resolutions, and intimacy went extinct. We're still in recovery. We're working on reconnecting. We went to this retreat for our anniversary, and overall, it was good for us. We were able to talk and have fun with each other again. Part of the program was intimacy exercises. We basically stared into each other's eyes in a quiet space for an extended period. It's supposed to help us be present with each other. We decided to continue these exercises at home. So during our last exercise, we were staring into each other's eyes. We're talking about stuff we appreciate, and I start telling her how much she means to me and what specifically I love about her. She looked like she was in pain the more it went on. She told me to stop praising her and how I didn't know everything. I asked her what she meant, and she confessed to a near physical affair during our fallout. She said she was lonely, We were on opposite sides of the earth, and there was a coworker, 19 male, showering her with attention and affection.
Oh, that's too young.
19 male, dude, this girl is like 27.
That's too young.
Ooh.
So this is what's happening. You got a nice, stable husband at home, and you got this 19-year-old Gen Z lunatic being like, what's up, mommy? Let me try to slide in there. That's what he's doing, and you're letting that little twerp do that?
I think this is one of the downfalls of the internet and the mommy fantasy. It's now coming off of the internet. It's not just a Reddit thing.
Dang, dude.
It's not just a chat thing now. It's like real in this case.
At first, she ignored him, but his chasing began feeling good. She softened. She got a high from it. Sorry. I'm just in character here. She got a high from it. She was engrossed, and they'd have their lunch break together every day and hung out after work. Other coworkers teased her about how she had the guy wrapped around her finger and him being whipped. She dismissed them, but felt guilty about what others were perceiving. So she moved their lunches to her car. She convinced herself the relationship wasn't wrong because nothing physical occurred. In private, they shared lingering hugs and touches with each other. She eventually resolved to have spicy sleep with him on their next hangout, but she stopped because of her love for our family. She said, while on her way out to meet him, she saw our daughter and me having a good time playing together, and how our daughter gave her a drawing of our family that reminded her of what we had and our commitment. I remember that night too, her telling me she was invited out for a girls' night, her getting ready, and how excited she was, and her suddenly canceling and ignoring her phone. You know what this reminds me of is, did you ever watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Remember that whenever Nancy's mom is going out to meet Billy, and then she sees her husband knocked out with the baby on his chest, and he's like, and she decided to stay?
Yeah.
This is what's happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. I'm looking back on it a lot differently now. I was too numb to respond. It didn't seem real. She asked me to say something. I asked why she was confessing now. She said it was weighing on her. And me speaking so positively about her made it worse. I asked if she was still involved with a coworker. She swore she wasn't. She broke things off with him, went no contact, and he transferred to a different department. She said losing our family wasn't worth the risk. I asked her if she ever planned to tell me. She admitted no. She convinced herself there wasn't anything to tell because she didn't go through with it. We got a little bit more before we get to that. But honestly, this is emotional cheating, but I think we can work through it. If this happened, I'd be like, we can work through this. You didn't do anything physical.
Yeah.
You almost did, but you stopped. And thank you for telling. Also, too, she told him. That's another huge plus there. Or not plus, but, thing to add.
I'm on the fence with it here because she fully planned to do it. Like, if she didn't happen to stop and glance at him in that moment, she would have fully gone out there and done it.
You think that they should divorce?
No, but I'm just...
So you think that they can work it out too?
I think they can work it out, but I don't think that it's going to be an easy process. And I think that she's a lot more at fault here than he's willing to... He's currently giving her credit for that she's willing to admit. But she knew it was weird. She moved into the car because she didn't want people commenting on it, even though she knew that it's
she felt guilty.
Yeah, she felt the guilt, so that's already there. Like you said, emotional cheating, it's there. The fact that she didn't go through with it gives it some grace and wiggle room. Like, there is potential to save it, but I don't know if... Well, I mean, they're going to have to do the work together. She's going to have to do the work.
Yeah, true. So, my mother-in-law knew before me.
Woo!
The guilt was eating away at my wife, and she opened up to her mom. My mother-in-law told her I needed to hear the truth from her, and my wife needed to trust in our relationship. Oh, it got to me too much. I told her that I couldn't do this right now, and we needed to end the exercise. She kept asking for me not to shut down on her and proclaiming how she loves me and wants our family. I told her that I didn't want to hear I love yous right then. She said the coworker was the biggest mistake she's ever made, and she's fully committed to me. I only told her I needed some space to process. Girl, give him some space. He needs to figure this out. He'll come around. Just give him some space.
This isn't like oh, hey, I forgot to tell you I borrowed your credit card. Sorry thing. No, this is heavy.
I almost cheated on you.
And for him to go from like saying like you're great, I trust you and everything, to this is not something you can bounce back from in just like a day.
Yep.
Or even like a week.
Yeah.
There's healing in processing. He's got to go through the proper stages of grief here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she respects my space request. Sometimes she doesn't. I moved out to the guest room for the time being. She sends affirmation texts about her love and what our vows mean to her. I'm still just really numb right now. This is heck. I don't know what to do with her confession. I knew things weren't perfect. I knew we were in a bad place and working our way back. But I never expected this. I was here wanting my wife, wanting to work on our marriage and our family, and she goes off sneaking around with some 19-year-old kid? Like, what the heck? What are we doing here? I don't relate either. I never looked elsewhere. My wife is it for me. To me, she had a place in my life that no one else could fill. I don't have anyone to talk to with. My wife is the only one I could wholly be myself with, opening up to about anything. But I feel like I can't do that now. It feels like I was drowning, and just when I was getting back on the boat, I was shoved back into the water. I am at a complete loss. How do I move past this while continuing to work on my marriage? We have an update. Number one, I think you need some friends.
Yep.
Because if your wife is your first love from high school or college, and that's all you got, and you can't talk to anyone else right now, I think you need to expand your social circle, because that is also kind of tough to be around. We have an update. But first, I also wanted to clarify something with my in-laws, 59 male and 58 female, that I was asked a lot. My wife, 29 female, and I opened our home because my in-laws were moving closer to us so they could see our daughter, 4 female, for more and wanted the space to stay while they got everything in order. Their stay ended up being a lot longer than expected, and I didn't think my father-in-law would escalate to the point that he did. I didn't realize the toll it had taken on my family, but my in-laws have since moved out. The issue isn't my mother-in-law, though. She has always been gracious. It's just my father-in-law. On to the update. I had time to process and was in a lot better headspace to talk to my wife. There we go. That's what we said. Thankfully, we found an opportunity when our daughter was at home. I don't want her exposed to our fights. We were good at keeping her out of them until my in-laws stayed. She was exposed to us fighting then. Is partially why I paused the convo/intimacy exercise after my wife's confession, because it was only leading into a fight. I want to cultivate a healthier environment for our daughter. My wife said she was glad we were talking again and how she didn't want to hide things anymore or have secrets from me. She asked where her confession about the affair left us. I told her it left us nowhere good. I know I love her, I want our family, and I was committed to repairing our marriage. I thought we were making progress and healing, but I don't know the full extent of our wounds. The affair is brand new for me. Around his hiring, I remember my wife told me she thought he had a crush on her and that he'd get shy around her. It was innocent. I never gave it another thought. I told her I wanted to see their text history. She said she had deleted his contact and their text, but she could retrieve a backup from iCloud. Okay. Whew. In support of her account, the timeline ended up to the night where they were supposed to have spicy sleep. There weren't any weird gaps. Seeing those texts hurt like heck. Her indulging another guy in that way, the emotional intimacy, and everything else. She checked out of our marriage and gave that kid a part of herself I was completely shut out of. And we'll never shut you out of any story as long as you go to your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on iHeart, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, and press play on any of those stories. That's what we got. And we got a little bit left here. Matt, how do you feel?
I feel like I'm glad that they decided to work through it. I'm glad that they decided that there was something to save here.
Yeah.
I'm glad that OP is mature enough to be like, hey, I don't want this fight around our kid.
Yeah.
The kid's the biggest victim.
Oh yeah,
absolutely
for sure.
The biggest victim. The trust is going to be hard to build back, but it's possible.
Yeah.
The fact that they're discussing it is good.
Yeah. Agreed. Got a little bit left here. She said she'd do anything to get us back on track, that she's committed to me and working on our marriage. She just wants to make everything right. I said I didn't know how to trust her. She lied, schemed, and had plans to tell me the truth. She decided to withhold that privilege. She said she was afraid she crossed the line we couldn't come back from. She had made huge mistakes and wanted to fix everything. Prior to our marriage, we had promised each other unconditional love. She was afraid she'd lose that from me, that her actions pushed that love out of orbit. She asked if it was possible for us to recover and keep rebuilding. I told her I couldn't give her a definite answer anymore. I'm not sure if I can forgive the affair, but I'm willing to give reconciliation a try. So, we're entering couples counseling. I can't attempt reconciliation without it. There's just too much to navigate on our own, and the danger of us falling back into bad communication habits. I want to be helpful, but I don't know what to expect. Right now, I just feel beat down and broken. I don't know if anything would come from therapy, but my family means the world to me. I need to see if it can be saved. Thank you for everyone's support and the resources shared. It's much appreciated. That's the end of that one.
At this point, the only thing that you can hope for is that therapy will help.
Yeah.
Having the outside perspective, I think, is necessary.
Yeah.
I think that if left to their own devices, I think the hurt would fester.
Yeah.
I do think that there is hope, but they have to maintain a path that's set forth by some like outside party.
Yeah, they're definitely, I think it's going to be another little rough patch. I love this dynamic. I want OP to get more male friends and just stick it to the dad, the father-in-law, and continue down this road. You're going to be a strong dad and you're going to be a strong parent. And I see a bright future here. I love this.
My ex's girlfriend demanded I cut ties with his family, but they don't.
I think they like you more.
My ex, Ross, 25 male, and I, 23 female, broke up over a year ago now. We started growing apart and wanted different things out of life. We have kept things civil, kept each other on social media, but we don't talk unless we see each other in public. I have decided to stay single until I finish my master's, but he now has a new girlfriend, Crystal, who's in her 20s, I think, and female. By the way, this comes from ThrowXYZ22, and you can submit your own stories to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. By the way, I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, I was very close with Ross's family. I still have them all on Facebook, but we don't talk unless it's to wish each other a Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, or anything else. Only a handful of times a year out of respect for Ross. They do like my posts, especially his mother, 40s female. I asked Ross if he would rather I unfriend them, but he says that he's cool with it and to not worry. The other day, I received a notification from Ross's mom. She shared a memory with me in it. It was of myself, Ross, and his younger brother when we were on vacation 3 years ago. His mom wrote, "Miss the beach, can't wait for summer." And I thought it was a little weird and awkward to say the least, but I didn't say anything. A few hours later, I received a Facebook message from Crystal saying, "OP, I don't know why you feel the need to still keep tabs on Ross's family, but you need to back off. Accept the fact that he is my boyfriend, and please remove yourself as his friend as well as the rest of the families. I have replaced you, and you serve no purpose to be in their lives anymore. Grow up and get over yourself."
Okay.
I replaced you? Oh, honey, you could never. So I haven't responded, but I'm so confused. I have met Crystal once when I bumped into them grocery shopping. Ross introduced us and we exchanged pleasantries. She seemed really kind. So what do I say? Do I say anything to Ross or his mother? Or talk to Crystal herself? I didn't even share the post. I'm so confused. And there are some comments. Mayor Eep says, "I'd just click it so it gets marked as read and not reply. I'd bet my house, dog, and close family that she's watching the message to make sure that OP reads it."
Like a hawk.
Yeah. Absolutely. OP responds, "I read it over a day ago, so I'm sure she's checked it by now." Also, I had a post that showed up on my news feed. She tagged Ross in a picture with the caption, "Don't know what I would do without this amazing man in my life. Love you to the moon and back, babe. Us against the world. XO."
Cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, lovey-dovey, but
sure, but like,
we know why you posted that.
Yeah.
That was a petty post.
Exactly. For lack of a better term, I can't even deal. Chaos Collected says, "Screenshot and send to your ex and let him handle it." Opie says, "I probably will do this tonight. I won't add anything malicious or accusatory, but I don't think I owe her anything. If Ross agrees, I'll oblige, but I'm not giving in to her temper tantrum." And Fake Y'all says, "Message the ex. Hi, I received this pretty aggressive message from your girlfriend attached. I've mentioned before that I don't mind removing your family if it was uncomfortable for you. Let me know if you need me to do anything, but either way, I don't want her to contact me again. Thanks."
Bingo. Great comment.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good.
And guess what? OP seems really just like nonchalant. Just go like that and be like, "Yeah, she's pretty chill about it. Like, he's an ex for a reason.
Yeah.
And we're cool, but like send that to the ex and be like, hey, your girlfriend is harassing me and I don't want to deal with this and I don't want this to happen again in the future."
Exactly. OP responds, "I sent him something along these lines with a screenshot, waiting for a response, and we do have an update with 2 days later." Wow.
Do you think it's going to be a, like he's going to handle this and like everything's going to blow over or?
I think we're going to get another crazy message from Crystal over here.
I think Crystal's going to be like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Like, how dare you
Like,
throw my great man into the mix?
Yeah, talking behind my back. I don't know.
I told you, he's mine.
Yeah, definitely something along those lines. So 2 days later, I posted on Reddit a couple days after I received the message from Crystal. After reading your comments, I agreed that I did not owe Crystal any response or action, but I did think that sending a screenshot to Ross would be the best idea. If he had a problem with me being friends with him or keeping in touch with his family on social media, I would have no problem deleting them. To me, that should come from him, but not her. So later that night, I sent Ross a screenshot of the message Crystal sent to me, and I added, "Hey Ross, I received this message from Crystal a few days ago. Not sure what this is about, but if you have any issues with me being friends with you and your family on Facebook, just let me know and I will respect that. Thanks." And I saw that he read the message a couple of hours later. He didn't respond that night, but I got a message from him late the next morning. He said, "OP, thanks for sending me that screenshot. I had no idea that Crystal messaged you, and I want to apologize for her behavior. She was completely out of line in sending you that. I spoke with her yesterday after I saw your message, and she got pretty defensive. She told me that she saw that my mom still has pictures of you in one of our photo albums, and when she saw that my mom shared that memory of us on vacation, she got really insecure and took it out on you. She has never come to me and talked about it, but I told her that there is nothing to worry about, and both you and I have moved on. This upset her even more, and she accused me of cheating, what? And said that she found a spicy sleep tape of us on my laptop and threatened to show it to my mom? What?
Why are you trying to show it to the mom?
That's crazy.
Why are you showing it to the mom?
Yeah, what?
If you show it to the mom, she'll be like, I miss her.
She's like, that's just OP.
I miss her. Yeah, she was the best.
Oh my gosh, that is so wild. At this point, I just told her we're over. I think that you should just block her on Facebook because she'll probably try to take it out on you. You didn't do anything wrong. Sorry for bringing you into this mess, LOL, but thank you for giving me the heads up. I dodged a bullet there. So that escalated quickly. But you know what's always escalating quickly is the amount of more stories and episodes just like this one. On Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, just search OK Storytime. We're at 70 consecutive days now.
And counting.
24 hours each, dude.
Again, so many stories.
So many.
Probably
by the time you're watching this, it's even more, honestly.
right now.
But yeah, there is a little bit more to the story, but
I guess the situation handled itself.
yeah. Good, honestly. 'Cause at first, I honestly was a little skeptical. Like, maybe don't, like, tell it to him because it might, like, look a little weird or something like that. Like, maybe just say something to her just to, like, kind of calm her down or something like that. But
it's like, that's your situation to handle. You don't want to be involved in any of that.
Right.
You took yourself out of the equation pretty much.
Yeah. Like, clearly it was the best way to do it. And it is also probably nice, too, because it's, like, it's not like she's, you know, exaggerating anything that Crystal is saying. She's just saying, like, the exact thing. So it's like, if it's really that bad to not show him, then it shouldn't have been said at all.
The one thing would have been like, why do you still have a spicy tape of me?
Right.
We broke up.
Right. That would be a question for sure.
That's like the only thing I'm like, okay, thank you for all the honesty. Sorry that you handled that, but
yeah, like,
did she find a spicy tape of us?
Right.
Because
but actually, there is a little bit more to the story.
Okay.
For the record, Ross and I never made a spicy sleep tape.
Love that.
Any NSFW ones that we did make were deleted immediately after watching. So she's just cuckoo.
Yes.
I called to confirm that, and he assured me that she didn't find anything, and she was just using it as ammunition to try to get him to admit that he either, one, had an NSFW video with me, or two, was cheating on her with me. Not really much to say other than that. I've blocked her on all social media and haven't heard anything since. I hope she doesn't have my phone number, haha. Situations like these make me happy that I've chosen to stay single for a little while. Thanks for all your advice, Reddit. It really helped. And there are some comments. Miss the Wire says, good gravy. It starts with insecurity over a Facebook post and ends with lying about a spicy sleep tape and threatening to send it to someone's mother. Even if Ross was cheating, why the heck would you do that to someone's mom?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the blackmail. I'm going to send it to your mother of you having a spicy sleep tape. What?
Gosh. OP says, that's what I asked him when I called him yesterday. What would she gain from doing that, even if it did exist? Plus, Ross's mother walked in on us once. Yikes. I'm sure she doesn't need another reminder of that unfortunate event. Deleted says, yay, I'm very glad that Ross seemed like a very good ex-boyfriend. You don't see that as often as you should, so major props there. The only advice I have for you is to be very careful with your social media accounts right now. Hopefully Crystal doesn't know your phone number, but someone who's unfortunately this insecure wouldn't be above making fake profiles follow you or friend you or having friends do it. OP responds, I did a privacy check on my Facebook account yesterday. Crystal and I were not friends on Facebook, so I ended up changing my settings to make it a lot more difficult for people who are not Facebook friends with me to search me or view my profile. Probably the safer bet. Mrs. Grumpy Stripes says, am I the only one hoping that these two awesome, mature people get back together? And Ophi responds, that could never happen. He wants to get married and have children. I do not. That's a deal breaker in a lot of relationships, including ours. And no matter how much we get along, we can't make that aspect work for us. Better off as friends for now. And that's the end of that story.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, people love to get back together. They can be friends. They can move on. Good
Exactly.
for them. Yeah. I feel like the one thing is Crystal, the ex, now, great. I feel like she's thinking, this is all OP's fault.
Literally.
Oh,
my
OP did
gosh.
this.
Yeah, like she's gonna go into future relationships or talk to friends and be like, oh my god, my ex's ex like was crazy and like did all of this to try to get me to stop. And it's like, oh my god.
She's not even blaming the mom, blaming her ex-boyfriend. It's blaming OP, which is
for sure
definitely happening. So
for
just be
sure.
careful, OP, but you should be fine.
Yeah, you blocked her. Everything seems good in that sense.
My girlfriend said she'd pick her ex over me because I'm a complainer.
Are you literally complaining about it right now, though?
This also comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit. So me, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 30 female, have been dating a few months. We both have a tendency to move fast, so seeing a red flag and dipping out isn't high on the list of options. By the way, this comes from Coffee and Hate. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, she has this guy friend. We'll call him Luke. My girlfriend and Luke met on the same dating app I met my girlfriend on about 4 months before us. According to girlfriend, they hit it off as friends, tried being romantic, and dated a lot. After 2 months, they stopped being intimate on their own accord. Weeks later, Luke started seeing girl 2, who didn't like that he was intimate with others. So Luke and my girlfriend had the conversation like, hey, we shouldn't do this anymore. Well, yeah, we kind of stopped anyway, so that works, but let's still be friends. Fast forward 2 months. Me and girlfriend meet and hit it off. Eventually, she tells me she only has 2 friends she slept with. This guy and another one from a decade ago. All other exes are completely cut off. My first experiences with Luke were not good. We've never met in person. The first thing I heard was that story above. The second was me, girlfriend, and 2 of her friends who she met through Luke hanging out, and the 3 of them were like, hey, we've all slept with Luke. We should totally FaceTime him right now. And they did it. It made me really uncomfortable, and my girlfriend picked up on it. We talked aside, and I felt a bit better. It wasn't malicious, just inconsiderate. The second exposure I have to him is me and my girlfriend talking about bedroom stuff, and she brings up an idea and was like, yeah, remember when I told you about that? I was like, no, we never talked about that. After some back and forth, she goes, oh, no, I was talking about that with a friend. I said, what friend? Luke. We never did that. It just came up in conversation. This was 1 month into us dating. Shortly before we met, but after they stopped sleeping together. This didn't make me feel good because, 1, while we're talking about that topic, she still thinks about it with him. And 2, that's her friendly conversation with him while he has a girlfriend. The other thing is that girlfriend doesn't FaceTime or video chat, but while at my house, she answered a video call from Luke. I was confused because she's never wanted to video chat with me. Afterwards, she says, I don't like video chatting, but he does and insists we do when we talk. Now, apparently Luke's girlfriend is also uncomfortable with their friendship. So Luke suggested we should all go fishing. I'm very outdoorsy, but never been an avid fisherman. Luke is, and they have so many wonderful memories fishing together. When me and girlfriend tried, it didn't go great. She got frustrated and said, usually there's a guy to help me. So no, I don't want to go fishing with this guy, watch him put on a show, and help my girlfriend while he tries to big wiener me. I requested the first time I met him to be on more neutral grounds. The fishing thing is in a month. If we can't hang out before then, we're not going. I already set a boundary that I'm not cool with her going out of state overnight with him, even with others around. Until Luke brought up that his girlfriend is uncomfortable with their friendship, my girlfriend never told him I wasn't a fan. She didn't want that to be the precedent for me and Luke meeting. Personally, I wouldn't mind if he knew I don't like it. I realize part of this is insecurities. I was burned by literally this exact situation a year ago, and 2 other times in the he's just a friend way. I don't mean to put my past traumas on my girlfriend, and she's usually very kind and validating. But she's made it clear there's no me or him. If it comes to that, she wouldn't be comfortable being in a relationship with someone so controlling of who she's friends with. So, am I the a-hole for not liking this friendship and being so negative about my feelings? If girlfriend finds this, I hope she's not upset. I kept it anonymous and she knows I'm struggling with my perspective. I'm not looking for validation. I'd rather be the person who isn't threatened by others in relationships, but there's a visceral reaction I can't let go of yet. We have some comments. OP in the comment section. I really appreciate everyone's input so far. I really just want to give this point as much room as possible. What if what she's saying is true? What if they really are just friends and the short-lived intimacy shared between them doesn't hold weight in their friendship? I feel it's necessary to add that she possesses a certain form of neurospicy that may affect her ability to have much tact in the way she handles conversation. I give her a lot of leeway with this in that she may just honestly not see the threat in the way I do, and is frustrated because it feels like an honest, genuine connection for her, not something inappropriate. I'm not in the business of ruining good friendships, and also trying really hard not to ruin a good thing we have over this situation. When I feel any sort of way about this topic, I can feel that familiar defensiveness that's coming from my experience with my ex. That said, my suspicion of exes being unfaithful, lying, or malicious have rang true in almost every instance, so maybe I have an awesome radar for this stuff. But I'm leaning more towards anxiety and retroactive jealousy. Someone replies, "This reeks of emotional cheating. You seem to realize this behavior is not normal and always seems to prioritize this other guy. Your gut is exactly right. They might not be sleeping together anymore, but she consistently puts him first when it should be you. That's never okay in a serious relationship. You should be prioritized above him. That's where it is reasonable to draw the line. As her serious boyfriend, you should always be put first when it's a choice between you or her ex. That's how this works. As the boyfriend, you might not be first when compared to her mom. That's husband level-ish, but you definitely rank above an ex who's now a friend. You might rank fairly even with the best friend in her life, maybe a little higher depending on how serious you are, but she's elevating her freaking ex well above that." We have an update, but what
Yeah.
you thinking?
I think that comment was solid. It's like, regardless of how anyone feels, if it's like, no, I don't see that. It's like, if your partner comes to you and is like, not just being like, you need to stop.
Right.
Like, just being like, hey, I've noticed so-and-so, and you seem to act XYZ, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe he is, fully just permanently in the camp of I'll just be friends with her.
Especially when also other half of the the friend ex's girlfriend is also saying the same things. Like, there could be some merit, and you should probably listen when both parties involved are like, hey, this makes both of us a little bit uncomfortable, and you guys are kind of low-key still dating.
Yeah.
Update. I really appreciate all the input from my original post. I know everyone mentioned the obvious red flags. Some of you may roll your eyes, but I haven't given up. I want to play it out to see how much is true. Now the update. Things have come up that raise my eyebrows about compatibility. She was raised with a suck it up buttercup mentality, which has made her pretty harsh. The examples seem small but stack on each other. We were talking about my past work, and I mentioned a job I've told her about twice. She says, no, we did not. I would have remembered. I said, I did that for a year and a half. And she said, oh, that's why. You only did it for a year and a half, so why would I remember? It's not that serious. It was a very prominent job in my past and still relevant to me. I said, well, I worked as a first responder for 3 years. Was that not long enough to be important? She said, no, not really. I don't think you've really cut your teeth for 4 or 5 years. That stung because it was one of the most influential jobs I've ever done. I understand her point because she's worked at the same place for a long time and I never have. But I tried telling her it bummed me out she didn't remember these details. She said they're not significant to her because they're too short. I said, well, they are to me. And she just said, obviously. By the way, you should obviously go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search OK Storytime. A little bit more, but what are we feeling? I'm on the breakup because it's not been that long.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be like, you don't have to break up with like a bunch of hard feelings and rough emotions, and you can just be like,
we're not
I just
compatible.
don't think this is working. I think we should break up, and that would be my suggestion. I don't know. It doesn't read like she's a considerate partner. And I don't think you can just like talk somebody into being that when they're so resistant to you as well. She's not open to anything you're saying.
I really just want her to give a crap about my stuff. I've had many different jobs and trades that made me who I am. And for her to not pay attention because she doesn't think it's important stung. There's another example. Because she comes from no money and my family gained money once I was out of the house, she always compares crap. I was telling her about an important but low-paying job, and she said, must be nice to be able to do that. I told her I paid all my bills and wasn't financially supported at all. But because if I failed, I could fall back on my parents. Then I had privilege she doesn't. She has that same safety net with her family. I don't want to compare trauma or struggles. I recognize her past and journey and understand she had it harder growing up. I've always made sure she's heard and understood, but it kind of makes her a wiener about it.
Dude, just cut your losses.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to find another partner.
I don't think we needed to test to see how far it would go. I think as soon as you were like uncomfortable and she was like, I don't really care. It could have been like, okay, bye.
Yeah, you can decide. Regardless of everything that we just read, dude, trust your gut.
Yeah,
it really sounds like you're trying to outsmart your gut, and you're thinking like, well, wait, actually, my gut instinct is coming from a place of like, maybe like trauma or like where this has happened before. So it's like maybe my gut's been overridden, but it's like, now your gut's just really like able to find that behavior.
Yeah.
And your gut is sensing that behavior coming from your girlfriend right now. And whether she's doing it maliciously or unintentionally, after it's been brought to her attention and she goes, I don't care, that's when it's like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
We should break up then. My brother's girlfriend made an awkward joke. Now it's causing tension between us.
Awkward.
March 27th, 2025. Some background. My brother, John, and I are very different people and always have been. I'm a nerdy guy who likes playing Dungeons and Dragons and works from home coding websites, and he's always been sporty and has one of those corporate office jobs where I swear half of his work is just playing golf and going to fancy lunches.
Lame.
We didn't always get along, but we're pretty good these days. And by the way, this comes from user ElephantNo3139. If you want to submit your own stories, Go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Golf and fancy lunch is not lame, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Dang.
Uno reverse.
He started dating his girlfriend, who we'll call Jane, a few years back, during what was a pretty low point for me in life. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship that had ended anything but amicably, was burning out of the career I went to college for, and in general, was about 2 paychecks away from having to move in with my folks. The stress of it all was taking a toll on my body. I went from the slightly chubby I've been my whole life to just straight up fat. And shortly after the breakup, I had an anxiety attack so bad it put me in the hospital. It was not a good time to get to know me. I was basically the picture of an F-up older brother. But I turned it around. I got the mental health assistance I needed to diagnose and treat some long-standing issues. With that as a springboard, I started exercising more and eating better, finding cooking to be a good hobby that also led me to eating less takeout and processed foods. I'm still no Adonis, still got a bit of a tummy, but I'm much stronger and feel better. I was able to quit my job and find a new one in a field that I never considered, but that I found I loved enough that I'm going back to school to work on a PhD in the fall, so I can pursue it to a greater extent. And finally, I started dating again. Someone, we'll call her Flo,
Ryda,
who was a better match for me than my ex.
Yay!
Progression.
Shout out to finding people better than your ex. Yeah. I just meant for
Yeah. Everybody hates that guy, dude.
I was your ex. Well, now it's awkward. I was talking about OP.
Awkward. This all brings us to the night things went wrong. We have a family gathering at my parents' house, extended family and all, plus Jane and Flo. I'm making dinner a beef Wellington.
A beef Wellington. Wow, that's gonna take a while.
What are you, Gordon Ramges?
That was funny. That was funny.
Everyone is raving about my food. I also did dinner this past Thanksgiving as well.
Ooh la la.
And also my recent glow up, my new job, and the program I got to, etc. I'm smiling politely and mostly just trying to do a bunch of dinner prep while they won't get out of my way. Then Jane says, yeah, never thought I picked the wrong brother, but I'm starting to think I might have.
Oh, she said that about you. She was like, I wish I had you. She wishes she had you because you're cooked.
She's like, I'm just joking.
How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that on the fly? Yeah.
On a real level, wait, say that to me.
What was the line?
Chop, 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 chop.
Chop,
chop, chop, chop.
I think I picked the wrong brother.
Chop, chop, chop. What?
Hibachi.
You could hear a pin drop. I said nothing. Again, just awkwardly laughed at what I assumed to have been a bad joke. Jane's face immediately changed to the look of someone who had only just realized their F up. John looked pissed, and the two of them left the kitchen shortly after.
Dang. She's like, no, babe, I swear, I love your cooking. I didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, no, it's just a
joke.
joke.
It was just a joke.
It's just that now your older brother's better than you in every way.
Yeah, he really put a lot of work into himself, and now he is objectively better than you, but I don't want better. I want worse.
I want you.
I want you, the worst option.
From what I could see, she seemed to be trying to apologize to him while he looked really hurt. My relatives said nothing, not immediately anyway. Flo just kind of winced, and later told me that it was really awkward having to stand there, but she didn't know what else to do that wouldn't have escalated things or put me on the spot. That was over 2 months ago, and both John and Jane avoid me like the plague. Not even a text since then. Whenever I meet up with my relatives, they badmouth her over it. And while I think Jane did F up saying that, I really do think she was just making a bad joke.
I honestly agree. I feel like I've heard people make that joke before.
Yeah.
And it's a bad joke. Probably wouldn't make it. But people make bad jokes all the time. It's not like she wants to cheat on her partner for OP. It's probably just talking about his cooking skills and her husband doesn't cook.
I was going to smash that comment.
Dang, well, it's too late.
I was going to go.
I think that if anything happens,
dang, well, it's too late. Shut up. No, that's what you said, not what I'm saying to you. No, I'm sorry. Then I interrupted you, and you. Oh God. Yeah, people make bad jokes.
People make bad jokes.
Personally, I think they're overreacting. This aside, I think she's probably the first person he's ever dated who was a fit for him in terms of personality and lifestyle. The only person being normal about it is Flo, who thinks it was weird, but like me, just thinks it's a dumb thing to say. No jealousy. She knows Jane ain't my type. How do I clear the air with Jane and John and get people to stop bringing this up? I'm sick of hearing about it and just want things to go back to how they were before. Right now, it just feels like a dark cloud over all of our interactions. And there is a small update saying, message John grabbing adult sodas over the weekend. Will update later. In the meantime, some clarifying info for some of the other comments. Jane is a very nice person and she really cares for John. She's been with him through some difficult times, including a period where work separated the two of them for 3 months, and they're otherwise attached at the hip. She does have what some call a lack of a filter. We've known that for a while. But she'd absolutely never leave him for me. Why my relatives won't let it go? Probably because they're a bunch of old Italian Catholics who like to gossip. Snaps. Which, incidentally, is probably why they didn't like the joke in the first place.
Yeah.
My brother and I have a pretty good relationship as adults and aren't especially competitive. My folks and relatives don't favor one of us over the other, though admittedly they do understand my brother's career path better than mine. I agree with a number of comments that the impetus of the joke was that I'm a good cook, especially when it comes to being celebratory feasts.
Yeah, clearly.
John is okay in the kitchen, but he's the kind of guy for whom a fancy meal just means picking up a more expensive cut of steak. I really don't think it has anything to do with me being the hot brother now, as a few comments suggested.
I literally think it was just about the food.
It's just a joke.
It was just a joke.
It's just a joke.
That's kind of crazy that they're like blowing up this entire family over this very insignificant joke.
Yeah.
That's the type of joke that everyone's like,
I literally just would have gone, ha ha.
Yeah, and then you move on, and then she feels super awkward because she knows that her joke didn't land, and that's her punishment.
Yeah. Or if
And
you're like
everything,
me,
and you move on.
you don't have any shame about it. You just make the next one.
Yeah, you
and
just
the
keep
next one.
throwing spaghetti at the wall.
And the next one. John and I have always looked very different. Comparing us would be more of a matter of personal preference than any kind of objective hotness scale. He's tall with a runner's build, and I'm a few inches shorter with a wide build and more visible muscles, as weightlifting is my main form of exercise. Lastly, not to toot my own horn, but I've never had any issues getting dates, barring the aforementioned year-long period where my life was falling apart. So I must have been doing something right.
Ooh, toot that horn.
Lastly, as some have said, I probably could have saved everyone some awkwardness by playing along with Jane's comment with a sorry, Flo got to me first, or something else similar. I go into what Flo dramatically calls the kitchen death drive while cooking complicated meals, where I'm laser focused on the task at hand to the exclusion of all else, and my responses to questions tend to be short, curt, and even a bit rude. It's totally normal.
You're focused.
You're in
you
the
don't
kitchen.
have time for jokes, especially bad jokes.
Too many cooks in this here kitchen. Get out of my kitchen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I would have tried to help salvage the bad joke, but I was searing a big, expensive piece of tenderloin at the moment, so my thoughts were elsewhere.
Thoughts were on the tenderloin.
Yeah, your thoughts were on your Wellington and
we
making
know exactly
it well.
where your thoughts were. They were in the dough. There's the meat.
There's an update.
In the veg.
And in your mushroom mince.
Yes.
There's an update 3 days later.
Let's hit it.
Met up with John at a sports bar we go to sometimes when our dad is in town. Shot the crap for a little bit before I asked him if everything was cool. He didn't really know what I was talking about at first, and I had to remind him that weird thing at the family dinner, and he immediately knew what I was talking about. I asked if we were all right, if they were all right, and lastly, what we should do about our nosy Catholic relatives gossiping about all this crap. First off, he confirmed what I and most of y'all thought was true. Jane was just talking about my cooking exclusively.
Ovulationlessly.
She's a big fan. It's actually the reason she came to that gathering in the first place. So that's good to hear.
She really loves your cooking.
She's just there for the beef Wellington.
And if she left your brother, it would just be for your cooking.
Nothing to do with my physique, though John did congratulate me on the additional weight I'd lost since the whole ordeal. Second, John's issue with Jane's joke had nothing to do with the idea of her leaving him for me or that he'd lost some prestige as the athlete in our family or anything like that. Something I didn't mention in the original post because I didn't think it was important is that John and I grew up middle class while Jane's family is loaded. Not billionaires, but she graduated from an Ivy League school with no student loans.
Ooh, dang.
Which she's turned into a well-paying and highly specialized tech job.
Got money.
She got that money. She and John go on lots of vacations together, have a very nice apartment in a very expensive part of the city, all that good stuff. The thing is, while John does pretty well for himself at work, he's not making nearly as much as she is and doesn't have old family money to fall back on. Trying to keep up with her has been putting a significant dent in his savings. Apparently, he's been psyching himself up to talk to her about how they may need to make some lifestyle adjustments so he can put more money away in savings and was worried how that might go. Hearing her say that I might be a better option after hearing about my new, to his mind, high-earning PhD program was the sort of thing that came at exactly the wrong time. So he had to walk away. I did have a little laugh at that. This PhD will open a lot of doors for me, but it's definitely not going to make me a millionaire. Adding to the sting of that, while he and I don't have much of a rivalry, he does still have some insecurity about me being the smart one of the two of us. I say this with all the love in my heart. John is an extremely intelligent guy, but you'd never know that from just talking to him.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. He sounds like an idiot.
You're Rain Manning your brother right now.
Dang.
He's a whiz with numbers.
Oh.
You're
Yeah,
Rain
you're
Manning
your brother.
He's a whiz with numbers and knows more about corporate finance than nearly anyone I've ever met at any age. He also speaks with the vocabulary and goofy demeanor of a frat boy.
I know a person like that. I know people like that.
Yeah, I know people like that. So on top of the anxiety about his rich girlfriend, thinking he's too broke to hang out, he was a little frustrated about the idea of a doctorate putting more perceived distance between us. He apologized for that jealousy, and I told him it was fine, and if folks were giving him crap, he could tell them he wasn't going to look over their stock portfolios anymore.
Yeah.
He also said that he and Jane spoke about the money, and she took it very well. The reason he hadn't been in touch lately was because they'd been looking for a more affordable apartment to move to when their lease is up. And by the way, the lease is never up. On full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to all of the juicy, delicious, drama-filled episodes we got just waiting for you there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like this is going well. He just needed to have a conversation with his brother and realize, oh, it wasn't really at all about that joke at all.
It's amazing what happens when you sit down and have a conversation with somebody. Instead
little
of
communication.
imagining what they're thinking.
Because you had all of these thoughts inside your head about what he was doing, about why he, wasn't talking to you. And then you realized they were all just that.
They were all
thoughts.
just fairy dust.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was left was how to handle the extended family. Apparently, John didn't know they were still on about that, largely because whenever he and Jane see them, they just talk about how Flo has too many piercings and swears too much. That gossip was news to me, so we mutually said, oh, F them, and decided to continue not really letting what they say about our partners get to us.
Yes.
Yes!
Let the old Italian Catholics gossip and you guys just live your best life.
Yes, please do that more. Everyone out there,
Everyone
do that.
Everywhere, do that.
Do that more. Instead, we agreed to spend more time, just the four of us.
Heck yeah.
And before we left for the night, John did ask me for a few of my recipes.
Heck yeah.
And that's
well, there you go.
End of that story.
All's well that ends well.
You sharing recipes,
Jane doesn't want you. John and you are still brothers, and Flo seems cool as heck. But that's the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and see you tomorrow.